It's Eat, Sleep, Anime Time. Ooh, yeah. Snap into a Slim Jim. Welcome,
we
everybody.
went a crossover of wrestling for a minute, but it's
we
okay.
went, hey, if there is one person that would work in the anime world, it's Macho Man Randy Savage, okay?
For sure.
No pukesters here, okay? No pukesters here. Just Macho Man Randy Savage. Welcome, everybody, to Eat, Sleep, Anime. This is our summer edition. We got an awesome show for you. Seeing people already smacking that like button. You got to whoop it. It's like the villain in the end of the arc, okay? The more likes we get, the more energy is coming to the spirit bomb, okay?
Yep.
So we
get rid
give
of
us this. Yeah, give us your energy, okay? Lend us your energy, all right? But we got an awesome show planned for you tonight. We want you involved. We want you chatting up. I already see Michael jumping in the chat. What's up?
What up?
Guys, it's going to be great. We're talking about anime tonight. And we normally talk about video games on this time slot. But we were like, you know what? Let's talk about anime
Spring
this week.
Edition worked very well on a Thursday. Why not run it back?
Why not run it again? And I'm excited because I love talking about anime. Dude, Amy, my lovely wife, Derek knows her. He was one of my groomsmen at my wedding. You know, and me and Amy, we pretty much only we either watch anime, which is like 9 times out of 10 or 10 times out of 10, or we watch Bob's Burgers. That's it.
Okay.
That is literally
you watch either anime or animation.
Exactly. And so, yeah, that's pretty much what we've been watching. So we got to keep up with this madman Derek over here, because this dude watches anime like they're about to make it illegal or something.
I know. So, I mean, they are trying to get rid of the illegality, like sailing the high seas, if you will. So they are shutting down sites left and right. So,
hey, as long as you're after the One Piece,
yeah.
So without further ado, everybody, let us know what you've been watching. We're going to get into this. We're going to kind of break this up. I'm going to give a few, Derek's going to give a few, and then I'll give a few, and then Derek's going to give a few. We've got some standouts, all this kind of stuff. But the main topic tonight, which I'm excited to get to in a little bit, is our top 10 anime of 2026 so far. Derek's got 10, I've got 10, and then they're going to duke it out. And there's only going to be one.
NerdCave top 10.
NerdCave top
anime
10.
top 10. So,
it's going to be great, y'all. Y'all not going to want to miss it. Will your anime be on the top 10? Or is your, taste kind of crap? I don't know.
only time will tell. We'll see.
Derek's like, oh my God, Zach's being combative tonight. Yeah, I am.
You combative? Never. You're never combative.
I am very peaceable. You know what I mean? I'm just a very nice, low key person. I don't get excited at all.
Nonchalant.
Yeah, definitely. So let's jump into what you've been watching. And this is the point in the show where you pop down in the chat. You let us know what you've been watching. We want to celebrate that with you. But first up, we've been watching a ton of stuff. Like I said, between Amy and myself, we pretty much only watch anime when we're eating and everything, and got a lot of stuff. But The Silent Witch is one that we just recently started watching. We're caught up to the dub at the moment, and this show is kind of it's trying to fill that void that Witch Hat Atelier has left us and Frieren has left us. It's really good. It's this witch. She's uber powerful, but she's super shy. And she's having to protect the second prince at this school. And it's forcing her out of her comfort zone where she's having to talk to people, having to interact and everything. And that kind of dynamic where it's, you know, the overpowered person, but they're socially awkward is an anime trope.
Oh yeah, 100%. They can't be uber powerful and, you know, be super popular. There's always going to be that one quirk they have.
Yeah, it's kind of like Mob Psycho in that kind of aspect where, you know, or Okaroon and Dandadan, you know, it's just like that awkwardness there. But the art style is absolutely amazing. The music is really good, and what we've seen so far, well, we watched the whole season. The first season was great. It came out last year, and if you're looking for something to fill that kind of fantasy void that you might be experiencing, because again, Frieren season 2 was amazing, and then Witch Hat Atelier was great, and it's like you're in this place that's like, I need more, but I want that same kind of vibe. This definitely fills that void, and I highly suggest anybody to watch it.
Agreed. I did enjoy watching it as well when I watched it as part of the summer lineup. Didn't make the cut because I didn't feel as strong about it as other people, but it was still an enjoyable show.
Yeah. I'm hoping for more depth. It wasn't as thin, I feel like, as like Jack of All Trades, which I really liked.
True.
It definitely had more in the second half, but I felt like this one was a little bit more like the opening episode where like all the magic like starts coming over and like just shooting dragons. It's like that. I was like, dang, girl is going off. Slay Queen.
Zoltron.
Slay Queen. Slay your enemies. Zoltron all over the place. We also have been going through Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I know I went through my journey a few years ago by myself, but this is Amy's second attempt to actually watch it because she's gotten some more deep animes, more like, you know, kind of depressing, let's just be honest, because you know, it takes a lot to watch the show, because it's on the surface, it's like, oh, you've got this kid that doesn't like to be called short and all of this, and there's some lightheartedness, and then you actually get into it in episode 4, you're like, Brother Ed. You know what I mean? It's like that's literally episode 4, and just really enjoying going back through this world, all of the lore, even tying into like real world stuff with like World War One, with like the prosthetics that everybody would had to have and all of that, and you get that with the automail, and then the music and the reveal of so many things. If you have not watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, to be clear, Brotherhood, you're doing yourself a disservice. And I know for a long time people are like, you need to watch this, Zach, you need to watch this, and I was like, I'll get to it eventually. But now I'm an evangelist of it. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is absolutely amazing, and we're in the Briggs Mountain. Kimberly is chasing some people and all that kind of stuff. So that's where we're at right now. So we're about halfway through the show at the moment. So we still got a lot to go, but enjoying every second of that. And then we also watched Vinland Saga season 1.
Ooh.
So this was my third time through the story, and this was the first time I watched it in English, which was very different for me. Yeah, because I gotta get Ashalon as a Mamoru Uchiha, you know. But I feel like the guy that did the English voice, it actually kind of grew on me. I was like, okay, and it's weird. Like, I know Thorfinn is older in season 2 and it goes to Alex Lee, but it's weird that season 1 has a totally different voice actor for Thorfinn and everything. So I don't know if that was like a union kind of thing, kind of like with Mob Psycho going into the last season, there was a union thing that was holding up the original voice actor and everything. But man, just going through that journey again, and the way that the story is told so freaking well, man, and weird position of like Thorfinn and Ashalad's like relationship, I feel like is done just so it's heart-wrenching, especially like that final episode.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Like and like when of course you need to go watch it. I'm trying not to spoil anything, but on the boat with Thor's, and he's like, you have no enemies, and like, I need no weapon or whatever. And it's like
how that plays out in down the road in season 2.
Down the road, yeah. But dude, I'm over there just like bawling my eyes out, and Amy's like, what's wrong?
What's wrong with you?
She didn't say that, but you know, I'm over there just like, I know it's happening, and it's so beautiful, but it's so sad at the same time. Man, Vinland Saga, like, I know we've talked about it a lot going from season 1 to season 2. We are going to get into season 2 eventually, but season 1 definitely like way action heavy. Can you guess who Amy's favorite character is in season 1?
Would it be Thorkel?
It is.
Yep. Yep. That's what I figured.
Yeah, she tends to like the crazy, boisterous characters. Yeah. So, but yeah, Thor, like, and hearing all of it again in English the first time, I'm just like, whoa, this is like so much different. I will say the English accents that the English characters have when they go to London, ooh. Not good. Not good. I'm just like, dang, dog. Y'all couldn't have tried that one more time, but absolutely love that. And I want to toss it over to you, Derek. I've got several more that I want to talk about, but I want to toss it to you.
Before I get into mine, since you brought it up, the only thing I have to say about Vinland Saga is season 3 win. Season 2 came out in 2023. When are we getting season 3? Like, the manga has been done. It's got 2 more arcs left in it. Like, just get it over. Like, just put out season 3. Just give me an announcement already. Anyway, I digress. So as you all, if you guys don't remember, I have been catching up on all of 2025 anime. I'm making my trek. I am continuing. I left off with halfway through the summer season. I am continuing my summer season with just a few more that I want to talk about. The first one, and this is a heavy one, is Takapi's Original Sin. And this is it's 6 episodes. Some of the episodes are longer than the average anime episode. Like the first episode's like almost 40 minutes. But this is it was nominated for Anime of the Year. And I'm thinking, okay, how can a 6-episode anime be nominated? In that first episode, like I've watched all of it. It is like if you without spoiling too much, just a discretion for people who watch it who have if you or someone in your family has dark thoughts, like real home struggles, something that could trigger traumatic events from past or current events, do not watch this, because this has heavy. It's more so on the kids side. It has to do with a lot of kid childhood trauma and upbringing, but it is heavy on just anybody who struggles with thoughts, feelings, events that have happened throughout their life that occurs. So viewer discretion is advised on that one. But man, the first episode is so heavy because you have Takapi, which is like a little pink octopus that comes from a planet, like he's an alien, but he comes from a planet where everyone's happy, joyful, and the goal is to spread joy throughout the universe. And they come across this kid named Shizuka, and he says, okay, blah blah, and she looks rough, like she's dirty, she's got tattered clothes, and you find out her mother is a streetwalker, if you will, lady of the night, and that is basically a lot of neglect, she gets bullied a lot at school by because it revolves around 3 kids, and all 3 kids, Shizuka, Marina, and Naoki, 2 girls and a guy, they all get intertwined eventually throughout the events of the show, but they each have their own struggle. Marina deals with an abusive mother and a father who's out at night, and there's a tie-in between her and Shizuka, and it shows why Marina bullies Shizuka so much. And then Naoki's like the third party who tries to be like intervene and like make both sides happy, but he has his own stuff where the mother is like has high expectations and is like an academic because she runs like a very elite hospital in her area, and it's like, oh, if you don't get academically, you don't get rewarded. We don't treat you as part of the family, essentially. And it's like, dude, it like every episode, like when I'm finding out the characters, like their backstories, it's just like a gut punch. But like in the again, I go back to the first episode because Takapi's talking with Shizuka, and you know she finds a stray dog, and then Marina decides to take the dog away or whatever, and that was like Shizuka's last straw, and Takapi's trying to cheer her up, and something happens. I'm not going to say what because it doesn't like show anything graphic, but the event that happens is graphic, and I'm like, wow, they are swinging for the fences in episode 1, like not even halfway through the show. And then Takapi, of course, is like trying to figure out what happened, what caused this. So he has like a time camera where he takes a picture at a certain time. He can go back to that event before these bad things happen, and you just see it unfold. And of course, the title of the show is Takapi's Original Sin, and you find out that Takapi has something that he did that led to why he's on this mission now. So I'm not going to watch it at your own discretion if you are triggered or like have anything like involved, like sensitive material. But it is like, just bear in mind, it is not for the easy of heart. Just saying. But it is a heavy show. I definitely see why it was nominated for Anime of the Year. Still stand by the fact that should have been kicked out in place of Solo Leveling Season 2. I digress. That's neither here nor there. The other one I want to talk about before I get to like my hidden gems of the summer is, and this is just a fun one, is called With You in the Rain. It is like a cozy slice of life. It revolves around a girl named Fuji who, she's walking home one day and she stumbles upon this tanuki, which is like a type of a raccoon, like a raccoon dog, essentially. And it's just sitting there. It's pouring down rain, and it's just, getting wet in a box. And it says, "Dog, please take home." And she looks at it as like, "Are you sure you're a dog?" And then all of a sudden, it pulls out a notebook and is like sentient and starts writing, "Yes, I'm a dog." And she's just like, good enough for me. Let's go.
That's hilarious.
It is. And she just takes it home. And then the whole adventure is like their day-to-day life. Like, you find out that she's a novelist. She writes books, but she kind of keeps it from her friends and family. Like, she's not ashamed of it. It's just like, right now, like, I think she had writer's block. She didn't know how to continue her novel. So she's just like, I don't want to get into my next story because I'm kind of tied up at the moment. But it's just like the day-to-day life. Like, you find out she loves the rain, and like when it rains, she loves to take a bath and just like chill in the dark because it's like the ambiance of it. And she names the tanuki You, like YOU. Like, so that's why the title is called With You and the Rain. But it's just like the antics and like seeing the interaction, like the tanuki, like the You is the pretty much like takes center fold because of just like, it has no speaking voice. Like Derek Snow does like the little noises or whatever for the tanuki, but there's no speaking parts. But just the interactions, and then like, and it pulls out the notebook from random places. Like, where are you keeping this, my guy? And it's like just like doing responses, and then it likes to keep a leaf on its head for whatever reason. Just seeing its interactions with other people, and and of course it has like funny interactions as well, because when she catches him like doing something he's not supposed to, it's like, all right, I'm not going to give you any treats, and he's just like, ah, and like he like fakes, like he just like rolls over like, oh my god, the world's ending type of thing. It is a fun show, but it's also just like a cozy comfort show if you want to check it out. So I do recommend that one if you're looking for something different, just like a chill slice of life anime that you want to take a break from all the action, romance, sci-fi in your life type of deal. Now, to my hidden gems of the summer, of course, I talked about Dealing with Mikodono Sisters is a breeze. Of course, kind of recap, You is a son of a his mother was a prodigy in like the acting, like the TV and movie field, and she was like superstar and all that kind of stuff. Well, she passed away unexpectedly from a complicated, health matters. And so this family, the Mikadonos, take him in because the father of the Mikadonos was a good friend of his mother and wanted to do a favor for her, like as like in her dying wishes. And the son has no talent what to speak of. Like, he's not a prodigy of anything. Now, he can clean very efficiently and fast, and he does cook really well, but he has no like special talents like that mean anything. But he is, of course, all three daughters in the Mikadonos are, prodigies. One's an acting prodigy, one's a sports prodigy, one's a academic prodigy, and they all have their their niches, and they all are like, standoffish toward him when he first comes in, but then when he finds out, oh, he cares and he just wants to be accepted or whatever, like wants to be helpful, they each come into their own, and they each have their own. Each of the sisters has their own little like journey, like arc they go on, that like they encounter something and that he helps them through it and whatnot. So it is a definite standout for me. The studio that makes it, like their other projects always take very long to see if they want to do a sequel. I do hope this one does get a sequel to it, but only time will tell on that one. The other one though that I didn't speak on, that I watched after last episode, was Onmyo Kaiten Rebirth Verse. And this one caught me off guard because it's like it's like another, I don't want to say it's another isekai, but it's one of those where he dies and gets revived again type of deal, or like something happens to where he gets revived, but he meets the girl, like he's having these dreams, like he's interacting with this girl that he really likes, and then all of a sudden he sees her, and then stuff starts going sideways, like there's this war with these creatures and all that, and then he's just like, okay, I forget what happens, but he discovers he has these powers, and then he ends up being dead, but then he gets revived, but it's the same situation, like the girl he meets in his dreams, I forgot to mention this. The girl he meets in his dreams, when he meets her for the first time, she doesn't know who he is. So he just knows her. So it's almost like a premonition, it turns out to be, that he meets her. So he introduces himself, and then he gets sent back again. He gets back in the same time period that he got brought into in the first place, and he feels like he has to do this all over again. But then there's like a slight difference this time around. There's like a slight with some of the people, some of the the day, and or what time of the year it is or whatnot. So it's like, okay, you start noticing. Then you start noticing something's weird with the creatures. Like, you're doing these, like, all of a sudden it turns into like a big kaiju battle, because it's like the Great War, like something happens every 100 years that you have to summon like your giant mech. And you discover something is happening, and then you find out the twist with the creatures. And then you find out, oh, the person that you thought was like the emperor or like the ruler of this world, that you thought he was doing for the good, it's like, oh, he knows some stuff that's going on. And you're thinking, okay, this is the big bad. No, you don't. Because then it does another twist, and then it's almost like the Great Ninja War. It's like, you think Obito is the bad guy. Nope, it's Madara. Like, nope, not Madara. You know what I mean? It's like, it just keeps, and it's like, okay, because the twists throw you for a loop, and you don't, and it's because the first one, like the red herring villain, if you will, you can kind of see coming, because you cut the way he acts, the smugness of him, you think, okay, this guy can be the bad guy. The one who's actually the villain, you don't see coming, and it throws you for a loop, and it just like, I think it's done very well. Is it like a fantastic story? Maybe not necessarily, but the way it is like paced, and the twists and turns that you discover over the course of the 12 episodes is great. So I definitely recommend you give that a shout out for your hidden gems. So that is the rest of summer of 2025 for me.
I love it. So for me, another set is Kaminari and the Iron Fortress. This was something that I literally saw like a clip on TikTok. And I was like, what the crap is this? It's like steampunk and zombies, and this girl's jumping around and flipping around like a ninja. And I was like,
with scythe flip flops.
Yeah, I'm just like, what in the world? And it's like you see that like there's like a scene where like the flip flop thing, like you see that, and like the dude that's like wearing like the hat, and he's like, and like he has like the top 5 anime you've never seen or whatever.
Yeah.
If you're in the anime world, you've seen him. And like that one, he shows a lot, and I was just like, okay. So I tried it out, and I feel like if you are looking for a Attack on Titan light,
Yes.
key on light, Kaminari and the Iron Fortress is that, like the start of it is, I think, really, really strong. I think the payoff is a little bit weaker than I want it to be, and there are hints and rumors that we might be getting a remake that's has more depth to it and everything, which I would love. The world is really cool. The political intrigue, what the Kaminari are, and like the zombies and all of that. And you know, if you have a zombie story, you got to have people with that are immune and that they might be the cure to it or whatever. This is just really cool. And then you introduce the steampunk side of it, where you got these freaking trains, and they're like the lifeline of like these settlements and everything. It's so freaking cool. So if you're wanting, I think it's like 12 episodes or something like that. It's not a very long show. It might be 24. Derek can fact check me on that.
It's 12.
Okay. So super short, you're in and out. And like, if you've been trying to chase that kind of high that you got with Attack on Titan and nothing scratching the itch, Kaminari and the Iron Fortress will do a little bit of that. Again, it is definitely Attack on Titan light. And then 2 more shows that Amy and I watched together. Well, a lot of these are that I've got on my list are stuff that I don't know if Derek wants to go back and forth, because I've got a huge list and he's got a huge list. But anyway, Demon Slayer. We went through all of Demon Slayer together, Amy and I, and it was cool to be able to go back through the whole series from beginning to end. Well, up until after, you know, we're finally getting Infinity Castle on Crunchyroll, which is going to be great.
At the end of the month, right?
Yeah. So all the people that didn't go watch it in the theaters will be able to see it, you know. But we watched all the way through Infinity Castle, and like seeing Amy's like reaction to Demon Slayer and everything, and how much she really enjoyed it, because I wasn't expecting her to like Demon Slayer. I was like,
yeah,
okay, like, you know, because I've tried to get her to watch Attack on Titan. That one's like way down the list, but she absolutely loved it. And just seeing and knowing like where we go and everything, but like seeing Inosuke, Zenitsu, and Tanjiro, and it's like knowing where Zenitsu ends up and everything. It's like, okay, I can cut him some slack. I know more of his story and all of that. But I like watching it again. I still think the mountain and the entertainment district are probably the best, in my opinion, like seasons out of all of Demon Slayer so far. I do really enjoy the Infinity Castle, watching it again and not having to like sit in the theater and just like, oh my God, I've really got to pee.
I know.
You know,
but I don't want to miss this part.
Exactly. But the storytelling that is done in that movie is absolutely amazing. But dude, absolutely love that. And then we watched Yu Yu Hakusho, and
yeah,
that was
at least through the Dark Tournament, right?
Yeah, we watched all the way through the Dark Tournament, and that was one of the things I was like, okay, let's get through the Dark Tournament, because Amy wasn't really enjoying it. And I was like, and watching it again, because I watched it a few years ago, but I was like working at the same time. So it was just kind of like in the background. Like the amount, what's up, Nate? The amount of just like quips and like having the non-edited version is hilarious, but it's like, whoa, I didn't know they said that. Oh, okay. All right. You know what I mean? So it was like, okay, this is a lot different, but It was so fun. And once we got into the dark tournament, Amy really enjoyed it. And Kuwabar is definitely her favorite. And Amy was so ticked off at the show. Like we were at the end of the dark tournament and something happens and she's like, you got to be freaking kidding me. And she was like, why the heck would they do that? Why wouldn't Yusuke just get the job done? And I'm like, that's shonen anime 101.
Yep,
It's like you
100%,
gotta,
especially from the late 90s.
yeah, it's like that's just paint by numbers shonen back then. But it just the quips alone is worth rewatching Yu Hakusho. And the dark tournament, I feel like that thing took forever to get through, but it was actually pretty quick. It was like 20 episodes and it's like done. And it's like, all right. And it happens fairly early.
It was so long. We remember it being so long because it only aired weekly on Toonami or whatever it was. And then they would get to a point where they'd have to recycle, and then it was like it would be a while before they would air the next episode or whatever. Like that was typical Toonami fashion. It was like same thing with Dragon Ball Z. You'd see a week of episodes that you've never seen before, and then you would see Monday through Thursday the same episodes, and then Friday would be a new episode. I'm like, okay.
Hey, you got to feel that time block, man. You got to feel that time block. But I just going back through it, I was like, man, I remember playing the Dark Tournament PS2 game, which was freaking amazing. And just reliving that was so cool, and sharing that with Amy. I was just like, man, anime's freaking great. Anime's freaking great. Do you want me to keep going, or do you want to jump into some of yours?
Finish out your list, and then I'll go to mine.
Okay. Gachi Akida, we talked a lot about this when when it originally came out.
It's self-explanatory.
Yeah. But watching it with Amy does not like Jabber. She does not like Jabber. But she really enjoyed it, and she was like, you did not prep me for this show. Because this was right after Vinland Saga season 1. And I was like, yeah, like, it's a little bit lighter. It's not. It's not at all. No. Like I didn't even.
Especially when it gets to the Amo arc.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking like Rudo and Injin and like just the interactions back and forth with those characters and everything. And then when we get to Amo, I was like, oh God, my
bad. My bad.
Sorry, dog. And like even with like the Jabber stuff and all of that, I was just like, it was just, it was just one of those things. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. But a few of these were the next 3 or 4 of these are like pretty chill anime. Like if y'all are looking for something to just, watch and kind of fill in some time or whatever. Like this is good for like I'm playing on the Portal, Amy's playing on the Switch or the Steam Deck or whatever. My roommate is a cat. This show, Derek, is so cute. I think you would actually like it because it's like a split between this shut-in author. He's like he writes not manga, but he's like an author, and it goes into like magazines, and then they'll put it into like a book or whatever. And he literally doesn't take care of himself. His parents got killed in an accident, and he's visiting their grave, and this cat comes up to him. So he takes the cat home, and throughout the whole entire show, the first season, and it could literally only be one season. It doesn't really need any more. The cat starts bringing more people around him, and he's having to socialize with more and more people and getting out of the shell. And the cat is trying to protect him and feed him and do all of these things. So it's like all these misunderstandings between the human and the cat to the human and all of this stuff. It is so freaking cute, Derek. If you need a cute anime, definitely watch that one. Another one, Dragon Goes House Hunting, is a pretty simple like show. It's literally this dragon that gets kicked out by his dad because he's not protecting the nest. There's an egg that was stolen, So
Ooh,
he
yep.
finds
You can't be caught lacking.
like falls into like this demon lord that's also a realtor.
Why
So
not, right?
why not? Why not? It's anime, y'all.
Yeah.
So this realtor and this dragon go to different houses. Some are and like heroes in this show are absolute jerks. They're just like always crashing into monsters' lairs, and the monsters are just like normal people and everything. But it's like the whole journey of trying to find him a house that he could stay in and all of this kind of stuff. But it's really funny, all the different scenarios and all of that. By the grace of the gods, this is an isekai anime. It's this dude that literally dies at work. He works himself to death, and he
All of our fears in the corporate world.
yeah. Um, so he gets put into like a 7-year-old's body or something like that, and he learns, like he starts taming slimes and everything. And this one again is very low stakes. He's kind of overpowered, that type of deal. He has a good relationship with the gods of this world, but it's a really fun show. He opens like a laundromat, and like he has slimes that clean the clothes for people, and they're spotless. Like they're literally spotless. So it's just all this kind of stuff there. But what's crazy, Derek, if you are opening a business day one, you're opening day, Derek, would you go like adventuring and then go to your opening day, or would you show up to your shop?
I would show up to my shop, obviously, if I'm having a grand opening.
Yeah. Dude's like, oh, it's not going to be that busy. It goes off. It's like, it's fighting like stuff in a mine or whatever. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing, dog? Like, this makes no freaking sense.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's anime.
But it's anime. That's a good one. If you like, again, you're needing to have something playing and you're wanting to play some video games. Low stakes, low brain power. Another one is Sweet Reincarnation, which is a candy tier. I don't know what these freaking names are. He's a candy maker, high class, like French candy maker. And he's like at this competition, and they're doing like these crazy designs and all this, like it has like this huge like statue that's made out of like hard rock candy or whatever. And they're wheeling it out, and it breaks and it kills him. So he gets isekai to another world into this family. Yeah. And his whole thing is to like bring sweets to this world and all of this kind of stuff. So again, pretty low stakes. There are like some fights and all of this. It definitely it definitely gives that isekai feel where it's like the outside world knowledge and all of that. Sentence of the Bookworm is the same kind of deal here. Even Reincarnated as a Slime, same kind of feel here.
Yeah.
And then the last one of what I've been watching until we get into some spring stuff is Tojima Wants to Be a Kamen Rider. Man.
Oh yeah.
This show is, I feel like it's a love letter to the Kamen Rider series, but it's also like a crack dream at the same time, because it's like it's like, what the heck is going on? How is this happening? And then the monsters are real, and my God, why is the fan servicing this hard at times? I'm just
why
like,
not, right?
Yeah. So just know. It fan services. So, but
why does Tojima fight bears all the time? But you know,
yeah, why not? But I love that Endeavor is Tojima, and he just does a good job.
Casting.
So good, and the Rider Punch. Like, you're gonna hear that a bajillion times, but every time it hits, you're just like, yeah.
Well, and you know, it's also fun because, you know, up until like, especially in the tournament arc that they have in the second half of the show, Tackle is voiced by Colin Clinkenbeard, who does Yaoyorozu.
Oh,
from My
okay.
Hero. Yeah, yeah. So that's also a great casting. Like the dynamic between her and Tojima is just great. And then of course you have the brothers and their antics, and it's like the older brother is such an idiot. I'm just like,
God. And then the sister, like that whole
yes,
thing, like I love the found family. Like if I had to encapsulate this show, it is a found family kind of
for
story,
sure.
but in the weirdest freaking way that you could possibly tell it.
It's like everyone has the same. They're from all different backgrounds, but one thing like they all love brings them together.
Yeah, and well, the sister is she hates it, but
Yes,
it,
mainly
it
hates
is.
how obsessed her brothers are with it, but I digress.
Yeah, and just the way like they craft like this whole story and all of that, and it's like,
Hmm.
was Kamen Rider real? Were they trying to warn people? It starts getting you to think about
Yeah,
all this kind of thing. Like,
yeah,
why were they putting that kind of stuff out there? But those are the ones that I've been watching, and again, you can go back through the list and everything. All of these ones that we're suggesting, if we're suggesting, they're worth watching. They're, we
yes,
don't we don't just throw stuff out there. I do want to hit a few comments before we jump into
yeah.
your fall list and everything. Nate says, I started watching Fairy Tale, almost finished with Dr. Stone, which I know Derek has been trying to get me to watch. So
Yes.
and
Well,
then Ghosts.
now it's over, so it's all out, so you can binge it in one go.
See, I like when something's done so I can just eat it up, because there's several anime that me and Amy are watching right now, and we're just like, okay, when's the next episode drop? Which is fun, but at the same time, you just can't binge it. Ghost 7HD said Vinland Saga is peak, second at my list. I'm curious, Ghost, what's the first? If Vinland is number
Yeah.
2, what's the
What's
first?
number one?
Yeah, I'm wondering how long. Because I feel like if you're on like our timeline, Derek, I feel like ours is can be some older anime is on our list. Nate says Dr. Stone was annoying to me at first, but it got good. It
Yeah.
went to the
I
gym, I
mean,
guess.
yeah. I mean, it does start off like a little bit redundant in some aspects, like especially some of the ideology. But once you start seeing the cool experiments they do, and then bringing all the cast of characters in, which has a fantastic voice cast, by the way. We met some of the voice actors at Pensacon a few years ago. I'll get I'll get to those. I'll see who they are. I'll tell you who they are whenever you start watching. But I
Is Chris
digress.
Sabat in there?
I think this is one of the ones he's not in, actually.
Not worth watching. Uh,
Oh my god.
Not worth watching. You know what I mean? Because I know you're doing this in yours. My voice actor standouts, everybody. I
Yeah.
have one that reigns above them all. Okay,
And
that
he just
is
mentioned him.
Christopher Lee Sabat. I don't know if his middle name is Lee, but I'm
Oh
giving
my
him Lee in there. From All Might to Major Armstrong to Kuwabara to whatever random NPC.
Yeah.
Christopher Sabat.
The master chef in Restaurant in Another World.
Exactly. Apparently he's in Fairy. Yeah, he is in Fairy Tale. I totally forgot
Yep.
about that.
Yep. He's the brother to the Strauss sisters.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just saying. Urameshi. Derek, tell me about your fall 2025 watch through.
So this is so far. I had a goal to finish it and start the winter, like be in 2026 by July 1st. I did fall short by 3 anime. I do have 3 left in the fall to finish. If I hadn't had to have moved my sister, I would have probably gotten to it, but I digress. The next one I'm watching is To Your Eternity, which is 3 seasons, and they're all 20 episodes long, so that's going to take me a minute. But the ones I have watched majority. The first one I want to talk about is Genosha, and this intrigued me because of the premise, and it's like, all right, your people are infected by these alien people, and now you got to find out which one is what. And this is it. I know there's an animated show out now for it, But if Among Us was an anime, this is it to a T, because the main character wakes up and it's like, oh, do you know what's going on? And like one of the side characters, and they're like, what are you talking about? And then they have a meeting. It starts off with only 5 people on the ship, and they say, and the computer is like, oh, there's 2 Genosha on board, and you got to find out who it is. And then like, the Genosha kills, whenever they do hyperspace travel, the Genosha kills one of the crew members, and then they have a meeting to see, oh, who it might be. And then if they get it wrong, the Genosha win. But then if they do it, because they put them into like cold sleep, right? For whoever they vote off, and that's their ejected, apparently. And then if the light turns red, because the ship will let them know if they got the Genosha or not. If the light turns red, the Genosha is still active, or at least there's still one more left. If the light turns green, you've got all the Genosha, the teammates win. Most of this, the Genosha win. And then once you do the loop, like over the course of the show, they introduce more crew and castmates, and then of course, the more crewmates there are, then the number of Genosha goes up. But then they start introducing roles, like you do a doctor who, once you put someone in a cold sleep, you can investigate to see if they were or weren't a Genosha, and you tell the team. And then there's also an investigator who you can investigate one person a day, and it will let them know if you are a Genosha or not. But then it starts getting twisted. It's where they have fake. I forget what the terminology is. Where they have fake people who are not Genosha, but they side with the Genosha. Their whole thing is to cause chaos amongst the crew. So when someone says, "Oh, comes forward," says like, "Oh, I'm the doctor," well, someone else can come forward and be like, "No, I'm the real doctor," and then it's a whole back and forth, and then it's like again a loop. Every time you complete whatever it is, whether you win or not, you start another loop, which is another like timeline per se. And one of those loops, the main character becomes a Genosha, and then you learn from their perspective how it is to be the bad guy, so to speak. And it's just there is an overarching story to it all. Like there is like a through line, but just the premise of, oh, if Among Us were to become an anime, this is it at its peak. So I would definitely, it is a fun watch. It's 20, I think it's like 21 episodes, but it is definitely worth the watch in my opinion. The next one I want to talk about is, and I've kind of talked about it before on NerdCave News, is Kakaryu Bed and Breakfast for Spirits. It is a fun, we have Aoi Tsubaki as the main character who meets these spirits, and she gets sucked into the spirit realm because her granddad was a debaucherous person and went around. He was pretty much the Jiraiya of the show. Like he just went around, did crazy things, racked up a ton of debt, and then he passed away. And now it's like, oh, now you have to pay. It's sort of like, when the government's like, oh, well, this person still has a humongous amount of debt. You, the next of kin, have to be stuck with it. So it's like you can pay it off, or you can work for it. She chooses to work. Or I think it was like Mary, the innkeeper or whatever. And it's like, I'm just going to work on my debt. Like I don't even know who you are. Like you weird me out, dude. Like we just met. But over the course, she gets, and she eventually opens up a restaurant where they do cook food, and she makes Japanese style dishes. And of course, in typical anime fashion, when you make dishes that no one's been introduced to, it's like, oh, this is the best thing ever type of thing. And then it causes, there's always, then there's like the serious like through line, and it's, this other rival inn who's like, is by like the beach, the beach side, like more of a beach resort, who's like the big rival of the main inn, comes in and is like, oh, well, we need to take one of your staff members. Like this is where like toward the second half of the first season is done really well, because it's introduced, like there's a big event, a fireworks festival event that goes on, and it is real. It does kind of get like emotional because of all the different moving parts, because it does get personal with a lot of the characters. Like you find out some of the reasons why they're there, some of their backgrounds, and it does like connect with Aoi a lot. And she wants to be the helpful type, where it's like, hey, why don't we find out how to fix this? Or hey, why are you squabbling over this? Just get through it type of deal. But the fireworks festival was really emotional. It was a nice little 12 episode wrap up. It took the second half of the show, and then season 2 was interesting because the innkeeper gets framed for some stuff, and then like he goes missing, And now like the whole premise is like, oh, one of the god who's like a mischievous god, like Raijin, he just wants to cause chaos, is like, oh, I'm going to take over the inn now. And now he's like, over my dead body, I'm going to go find the master. Like, bump this. And that whole sequence of events, is fun as well. Like it, and the jump in animation quality is fantastic because the first season came out in 2018, and then season 2 didn't come out till last year, 2025. So the 7-year difference did really do wonders for the animation quality. So the first season wasn't bad, but when you notice season 2, you were like, oh yeah, this has definitely been up-resed. So yeah, it's a fun adventurous with a little bit of mystery and intrigue. So I definitely recommend checking that out. Another one that I wanted to bring up that it's a series that has been near and dear to my heart I haven't watched a new one in a very long time, and that's Digimon. A new Digimon did come out. It's still going on. It's like a lot of the Digimon anime shows are like 50 episodes long. So of course this is like a year long. It's in its final arc for the summer, but they're doing the dub weird. Like they're doing groups of 5, and it's like every like 6 to 8 weeks there's a new batch of 5 episodes come out. But they're up to 25 episodes, so halfway through the show, and I forgot. Like of course it's more of a modern age. Like people like there's AI now that are like in these like egg capsules called and it just left me. But they're basically like Tamagotchis with AI essentially.
Digi eggs.
Yeah. They do like I think they're e-pulse devices. And funny enough, they do, if enough e-pulse gets funneled through, or like if there's a glitch or whatever, they do bring out Digimon. And there are some Digimon that are bad, and they want to feed on humans' e-pulse, and they get cold-hearted or die essentially. But they have a second chance at life because we find out because like the main character Tomoro, his brother gets cold-hearted by one of the Digimon. Tomoro, not Tomura. So see what they do. Anyway, his brother gets cold-hearted by a Digimon. But then we find out if you digitize the Digimon, you can get a chance to get the e-pulse back and put it back in the human body. So his brother, but this mega level Digimon, like this mysterious Digimon, takes his brother's e-pulse and disappears. So that becomes the premise to, he joins the group, the Rising Dawn, or is it the Golden Dawn, the Rising Dawn, one of the two. And that's his whole premise. And they're like, the outcasts, like they stand for good things, but they don't get a whole lot of money. So they live in like a rundown shed and whatnot. But it's just a fun show. Like the main character Tomoro is voiced by the Zeno Robinson, who does Jabber, who does Hawks. So it is definitely a different role, because Tomoro is definitely like, he was like a drummer or like wanted to be like a musician. So of course his whole thing is like to the beat or whatever. And, of course the Digimon partners are all different, like Gekkomon is his partner Digimon. And then you have, of course, the other casting characters. And of course they do their Digivolutions. Like in the last episode I left off on, Gekkomon has his ultimate Digivolution. But just like the different arcs, like of course the first arc is just like the group being established, going on different adventures like that. But then you start seeing like there's this whole faction that pretty much like a group that is overall like the goings on of the city. And you see some of them have some shady dealings. And you deal with the first one of them who does like underground fight clubs and like borderline human trafficking or Digimon trafficking. And I'm like, that's not good. And so, but he has like a whole military faction that that goes out and does his dirty work. Like if people get too close to the truth or whatever, and the trio of main characters fights these guys who are like again, honed, trained to like their e-pulse to like balance it out so they have consistent e-pulse to give their Digimon, whereas Tomoro's very erratic. He's very emotional, where he like just pours all his e-pulse in one go type of deal and then leaves himself empty for like later in the fight. So it's just a different, if you want to get back into Digimon, I would definitely recommend this one because it's just different. Like the last one I remember watching was, I think, I don't remember if it was Frontier is the right name for it, but it's where the Digidestined become the Digimon. They have these armor that they put on that to become Digimon. So yeah, it was a different time for Digimon, but I digress.
Did you become a digital champion to save the digital world?
No, not yet. I mean, they're still halfway through the show. They're only halfway through the show that I've watched, so they haven't achieved that yet. They're getting there. The next one, or the last one I want to talk about before I get into some of the other categories is campfire cooking in another world with my absurd skill. And I know, Zach, you were high on this. I absolutely loved the show. Like watching it, Makoto, like him again. It's an isekai. He gets dropped in this world. Like he gets summoned, but it's like he has what they deem a useless skill in online grocery, and even Makoto's like, you know what? I don't want to even do this. Can I just go about my way? And they're like, all right, here's about 20 gold coins. Go do your thing. And of course, it's a struggle to get going because he just wants to go to the next town over. And then he finds out, the group that takes him there, which I think Wilhelm is also voiced by Chris Sabat, by the way, the leader of the group that he takes him across. And it's like, hey, like we would like some good food. And he's like, oh, I can cook for you. And he cooks, and they're like, oh, this is great food. And then he notices like it's almost like Solo Leveling. He pulls up the menu screen and whatnot, and he has an item box that he can keep stuff in. And he's just like, oh, my Japanese food gives him stat boosts. And I'm like, of course it does, because why not? And then, of course, they come across this great creature, a Fenrir, and that he deems fell, and he's just like, what are you guys doing? That smells delicious. Can I have some? And then Fell just is like, I'm going to become your familiar because you make excellent food, and that's all I want to do is just eat meat and be done and hunt. That's all I want to do. And then, of course, over the course of the rest of the first season, he gets another companion in Sui, which is
my
best,
God.
Best boy, must be protected at all costs. Like the interaction between Mukoda and Sui is just precious. I love every second of it, and especially when Sui's like, "I want to protect Master," and it's like, "Yes, you do. Yes, you do."
Yeah.
And then in season 2, we get introduced to Daro-chan, which is voiced by Midoriya. Funny enough, and that adds a whole different dynamic, and all of them become broke. Like Sui has the fastest growth, and like all of them become broke, insane creatures. Like Fell's already super strong, but then the other two just become insanely strong, and now he just has a trio of broke familiars, and he just sits back like. And it's funny because it's like whenever they go like through a dungeon or like a big battle, he always checks his stats, and he's not progressing fast. I'm like, dude, why do you care about this? Like, I know you got to defend yourself, but you've got 3 monsters that are defending you that could destroy a whole army by themselves. Like, what are we worried about here? And then season 2 definitely gets interesting. Like having Elrond in there is like the elf that is like obsessed with Daro-chan, and just as like, first of all, like from season 1, going back just a second, when they start selling the goods and they found out like all these are all high rare items, there's like crazy, like the Wagyu steak episode was insane because it like pretty much like it's like an energy drink for Fell, and he just goes on and attracts like high level like rare monsters, and they're like, yeah, we don't have enough funds for all this. I'm like, of course you don't. Of course he's gonna. And his interaction before he finally gives off the Chimera is just so funny because the first time he wants to bring it out, he's just like, this shall never see the light of day again. And it's just so interaction because he is racking up money like Jeff Bezos at that point because he's just selling meat, selling skins, like has super high rare items that only he stumbles upon. It's just fantastic. One of just the random episodes, I think it was in season 2 that I watched, where he's making like, I think it's another like meat dish because that's all Fell asked for. It's like, I want meat. And even Makoto's like, gee, that's a shocker. What else? Because what else could it possibly be? And then like it's a new dish. He's just trying something out, and Sui's just like loving it, whatever. And I don't know why it just tickled my fancy so much. And he looks over at Fel's like, "What did you think?" And he's just going, "Ah, rah, rah." And I'm like, he's just diving in. I'm like, of course, he's a glutton. He doesn't care as long as it's edible. He doesn't care how great the dish is. He just wants, if it's good, he's going to eat it. And then the gods and goddesses aspect is just funny too, because it's like, he sets up with the first goddess, and then she's like, all right, once a week. And then several days later, she's like, I want it again. And he's like, thought we said 1 week. Give me what I asked for. I don't care. And then you see the other goddesses listening in is like, well, I want this and that. And then he slowly forgets. And every time he's like, oh crap, I forgot again. And I'm just like, and they give him such an earful. It's just hilarious.
I love when you also get like the two male gods in there. I want to say Hephaestus is one of them in there, and it's like, yeah, we want beer.
Yeah.
And like I love that it's like the Adventures Guild plus like the Merchants Guild, like he's like selling like hair products and all that kind of stuff, and it's the absurdity is in the title alone, but it's such a good watch. Like, I would say that it is probably my favorite like low-stakes isekai.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's funny, like and of course, in a lot of isekai, just a lot of random happenstances happen too. Like again, the rare items, but it's funny in season 2 when the two male gods come in and then they're like, "Oh, we see that you upgraded," because he goes from just like a sweet, like his online grocery can level up, and he can get other. So he goes from just like regular sweets to confections, like cake, like pastries, like fancy eatery. And he's like, oh well, if you get to level, you get all these levels, you get another point. And it's like, you should get to level 40 as fast as you can. And he's like, pump the brakes, I don't want to do that right now. Can I just enjoy this other, like going, because we need to go to the ocean. And they did that at the end of season 2 where we kill a kraken and a sea serpent, eat the monster meat there. And like, okay. And then they plan, it's like what he doesn't know. And they say a double XP skill. And then he's just like, whoa, I gained a lot of levels, but I shouldn't have. It was a simple fight. And then he's like, when did I unlock this skill? And then he thinks back. He's like, and the gods are like, we're still going to get our way. We're going to let you do your thing, but we're still going to get our way.
Yeah. And like, there's so many times Amy and I have watched that show, and it's like, he keeps forgetting about the gods. He keeps forgetting about, and like, I love when like it'll cut to them and they're just like they're like wasting away just because they didn't get their sweets or beer or whatever it is.
But it was such a fun show. Like, I'll give you your props on that one. You did talk about it. You did hype it up a lot, and I'm glad I did get a chance to watch it. So it was definitely worth a watch. Before I get into my hidden gem, because even though I have 3 left, pretty sure my hidden gem is gonna trump whatever the last 3 do. A fun one to watch is Isekai Quartet. Now, it's on its 3rd season. First season premiered like in 2019, so it's been a while. So it's been out for a while, but there was a big gap between season 2 and 3. But it's just a fun one. It's like a chibi. It's all like these isekai get transported like into a school realm where they have to go to class and all that. But it's like a lot of the cast from Overlord, Re:Zero, Tanya the Evil, and what was the other one? What was the 4th one? I'll think of it in a minute. And just seeing all the different antics, like all the different characters interact with each other is just hilarious. Like seeing Ainz and Tanya and then Subaru. Konosuba was the 4th one. Konosuba, like seeing all of them interact is because I've only seen one of those 4. Like I know I'm going to see Re:Zero eventually. I know I'm going to see Konosuba, and Tanya the Evil is finally getting the 2nd season in this upcoming summer lineup. But I watch, and then of course season 2 they bring in characters from Shield Hero, and then season 3 they bring in characters from Eminence and Shadow. Now the characters they bring in don't really bring, like Eminence does play more of an important role, but Shield Hero characters play more of a background. Eminence is like pops in every now and then, but just see like, and I'm wondering like, well, where's like Reincarnated as a Slime? Like where are these other like big name isekais? Come to find out, it's Katakawa who produced that, and it's all the shows that they own. So it's all show, of course. So of course they don't own Reincarnated as a Slime, so that would make sense why that's not in there. So, but it's still funny. it's more of the comedic value, like more of the comedic pacing. So if you're just looking for something, if you enjoy a bunch of casts of the characters of the shows that that entail, watch it. It's a fun time. Now, my hidden gem for this, and again, Zach, you had watched it. You had told me about it. I had seen a preview of the first episode, and I knew, I'm like, all right, I can't wait to get here because this is going to be. May I ask for one final thing? And my God, every episode was epic. Like, shout out to I'm gonna get to the standout leads, but shout out to Morgan Garrett. She killed the role as of course now leaves. I got the list right here though. Yeah, Scarlet. She killed the role of Scarlet, like bar none. Like in the first episode, she's like, "May I ask for what?" Like because it starts off she's engaged to this smug, bratty prince for political reasons and whatnot. And of course, people have powers or blessings in this, blessings from the gods. Like some of them don't even know what their blessing is, but she does. And of course, it's the gift of time, but or to control time. But she uses it to like speed up like like her punches, her movements. Like she uses it in such a genius way. And Scarlet's my spirit animal because she does things that I wish I could do to a lot of these idiots in the real life. And like so he throw like the prince throws this whole soiree because they're engaged, and he does it to humiliate her in front of everyone and break off the engagement and then spread falsities. And then she's just like, "Oh, you want to play this game, huh? May I ask for one more thing? May I slug this?" And I'm not going to repeat some of the things she said, but the new girl that he wants to get engaged with is like, "May I slug her and knock your teeth in?" And you're like, "What?" And then you see just everyone go, "No!" And she knocks, and then she proceeds to like, "Oh, you all want to be complicit in this? I'm going to knock every one of you out." And then it just proceeds. Like, she gets so many nicknames throughout the course of this show. And it's funny because her brother, Leo, I think is his name, is voiced by Gauchwin from Apothecary Diaries, who's like the attendant to Master Jinshi. And it's so funny to see him in this because it feels like this is how Gauchwin acts whenever Jinshi and Mao Mao have these stupid interactions. But Prince Julius, like the older brother to the prince she was engaged with, has a fancy, or so he leads on. He's very nonchalant about, he's just like, "Oh, I love to mess with you." You know what I mean? Like, I just love to get your goat. I just want to see who the real you is. And I'll give you hints that I like you, but I'm not going to fully tell you to. And just the whole antics, like, the saying, when the gloves come off. No, when the gloves come on, it's going down. Like, every time I see her put on, I'm like, all right, this is it. Here we go. But to see her in the antics and like to see the through line of why, because the woman that the smug prince wants to get engaged to instead of Scarlet, it's not just a throwaway. She plays a role later on in the show. And it's only 13 episodes, but it's 13 episodes of just pure enjoyment. Like, I laughed so hard. It's a lot of things. Like, and her reactions, like, like she gets ticked off so easily. And it's like whenever someone says something and you see like the little like like the veins pop in her hand, I'm just like, "Oh, here we go." And even up until the end, like where the prince, like she realizes like what Prince Julius did to get her to basically help him like finish the final boss essentially. And then she's like, "May I knock your bleeping teeth in?" I'm like, "Yo, my," like it like you rarely don't hear that in most of that type of anime, but it was so perfectly placed. And I'm just like, perfect. So I don't think we'll get a second show because I think I read it's covered majority of the source material, and there's not enough to justify a second season. Even if we never get a season 2, I am satisfied with this being a one season wonder. It is just fantastic from beginning to end. So definitely go check that out. Which leads me to my voice actor standouts of the fall. I want to start doing that for every season going forward. I want to kind of bring that back. So both of them are pairs. Because I feel like sometimes it takes two to tango. Of course, may I ask for one final thing? Morgan Le Ray Garrett as Scarlet El Vendemian and then Regan Murdoch as Julius von Palestine, both like they just complement each other so well. Like he's the calm, collected one. He's like, all right, let's take a step back. Let's maybe not punch everything, but let's pick our time to do. There's a time and place for violence. Not everything requires a punch. Whereas Scarlett's like, punch everything and leave. That's all I care. You know what I mean? So, and funny enough, I follow her on Instagram, and I was just scrolling through, just seeing like her posts and whatever, and it comes to where she like announced the casting for being Scarlett, and she's just like, universe, please, she is me and I am her. I don't ask for much. I just want her role, and she gets it. I'm like, you go. You know what you want, and I just feel that enjoyment because when you're passionate about a role, you're going to give a fantastic performance, and I feel like she justified that for sure. And then of course, Regan Murdoch, I've seen him in a few things. He's like Jared Green, who's the voice of Shinso from My Hero, right? He's like not in a lot of big things, but he's in a lot of things as side characters. So, and it's just, and funny enough, Jared Green's in Demons of the Shadow Realm. He's Dara. But Regan Murdoch I've seen him in a lot of anime recently, and he's getting into that same realm of like just a great side character, and him being sort of like main character 1B or 1A is great. And so I shout out to both of them in that show. And then of course Aaron Campbell, who plays Makoto, and then Jonah Scott, who plays Fel in Campfire Cooking. Jonah Scott is also the voice of, I know he doesn't have a lot of speaking roles in the beginning, but Upper Moon 1 from Demon Slayer. That's who he also voices. But again, just their dynamic, like Makoto's like, just is like wanting to live a simple life, and does a great job. And then you have Fel over here like very abrasive, very like, I want meat, feed me, like very the needy one. But he's also like once he gets to know that like care for Makoto, essentially, he's like, you need to train. And of course he's just, he may come off as a little bit pushy, but he's trying to, in case something ever happens to him, he's like, all right, I need you to learn how to defend yourself. So just those funny interactions. And then just like, again, I think it's in season 2 where he's like, Fel, you got to take a bath. And he's like, I'm not getting in the tub, but I will be bathed. You can brush me. I'm like, Fel is such a diva, especially in season 2, that it's just the back and forth. And then again, Makoto, like, and Fel even calls it out. He's like, why do you treat Sui different than you treat me? Like, why are your interactions, why are you paying more attention to Sui than you are to me? And it's like, wonder why. So shout out to those 4 amazing actors for what they do in those shows. So
I see you didn't mention Christopher Sabat in any of these voice actor standouts, Derek.
Because he wasn't in either one of them. Oh, well, he was Wilhelm in Campfire Cooking. I'm sorry.
Come on, Derek. Get with the program. You know how this works.
Listen, when your IMDb list is as long as a thesis, like a college thesis paper, you are well known enough. Just saying.
So we're going to jump into spring 2026. We share a few of these together. So first up, let's talk about Witch Hat Atelier season 1. Just wrapped, and my Mondays feel so empty.
Hollow now.
Yeah. Nate says he can't be in everything. He can.
So can Ian Sinclair.
Don't say ill about Christopher Sabat, okay? Him, Ian Sinclair, and the guy that plays the blue ogre in Yu Yu Hakusho, he's father in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and the narrator.
Oh, yeah.
He's in freaking everything. It's like, if I had those 3, I don't really need anybody else. Okay. I'm just going to say, I don't need anybody else. All right.
Fair enough.
I don't need anybody else. They can even play the female characters. I don't care. Let's talk about Witch Hat Atelier. This, I feel like this show right here.
Yeah, this show definitely was the highlight of the spring for sure.
Now, Derek, I'm gonna make you eat some crow here for my lovely wife.
Here we go.
So, episode, I think it was the beginning when it came out. We did the end of winter. It was the start of spring, and Derek was kind of low on this show, y'all. Okay, don't let him act like he was touting it high. Carrying a bucket of water for it. But now the poser that he is finally realizing. Okay,
hold on.
Hey, I'm having to say I'm under marriage contract. Okay, all right. So I'm having to do my wife's work. Okay, all right. So you're a poser, but that's okay. I love you. I love you. She might not, but I love you.
Listen. I'm not going to run away from it. I did say the first 2 episodes were good, but I didn't feel that like, oh, why people are typing this up type of thing. And again, with a lot of shonen anime, it takes a few episodes. I know this, but we were doing our first episode impressions, and we have to talk about what we saw in that time period. You know what I mean? I don't read the manga because I want to see it like for the first time. I don't want to be spoiled ahead of time and be like some of these people that are like, oh, well, they didn't do this great of an animation. All right, I don't care. Anyway, we have to just report on what we see. And I am glad, like, it took till about, it really hit off in, of course, the Draconic Labyrinth, episode 5, I want to say, where Kiefer comes in and does that amazing spell, which I think they came out and said that one shot of his spell coming to life took 20,000 frames, and the average frame is like a couple thousand. I'm like that shows, because it was fantastical. And then from there, the show just took off. Like the dynamic that Kiefer has, where he's like, such joyful, and then when someone discovers something, and he it's sort of like Voldemort. It's like when they bring up the brim caps, he's like, "You shall not speak of this," and he's like, "But it's you shall not speak of this." And I'm like, okay. He's something happened along the way. Bro has some trauma to work out, and he has a mission. And then, like, you want to talk about the Full Metal Alchemist moment? That one at the end, the last episode, I'm just like, bro, this is crazy. And of course, I called it. They left off on a cliffhanger, and now, of course, they did announce that the season 2 is in production. So hopefully, we'll get something next year, hopefully no later than 2028. But I digress. The Anime Expo is going on this weekend. They have a bunch of announcements. I think one of them will involve Witch Hat Atelier season 2 information. So hopefully we'll get some more about that later. I just checked them up while you were discussing yours.
I think we're supposed to get an announcement tomorrow.
Yeah, I know it's like several days worth of announcements, because they have like I think 50 different shows that they're going to talk about at Anime Expo. So we're going to have a lot. I'm going to be sending you a lot of articles, I feel like, but just the course of the show, like the dynamic between the witches, like I feel like we learned. Now Tetsuya, I think is her name, the pink-haired witch. I feel like we didn't get enough of her. Like I think we got a lot of of course, there's Coco, who's the main character. Of course, we're going to get a lot about her like story and her, like what her motivations are. I do want to like the one episode where Kiefer's like, oh, if you can't draw circles really well, but you can do straight lines really well. And I want to say, okay, how is that going to play out into her magic later on? I hope we do find out, because that, him mentioning that, I'm like, so she's going to be like Riche, who, Riche does her own magic where she just does the spells she likes. And I feel like this arc that we left off on really gave us some insight into Riche, but also, like Agat mentioned, there's some flaws in her logic with like her thought process on spells. It's like, okay, if you just do the ones you like, you're not diverse enough. You can't really get yourself out of every kind of situation if you limit yourself with the magic you can do. And of course, we got a lot of Agat. I feel like we got more Agat at the end of the season, but we got some Agat as to why she does the things she like, why the way she is. But I feel like Tetsuya was the only one we didn't get enough of to, and maybe like down the road we will.
Yeah, the only thing we really got with Tetsuya was like in the lair, like her her want with her magic is to like make
Yeah.
people happy and get thanked or whatever, and like the
Right.
cloud, like that's really about it. We definitely, I feel like it's Agat, then Riche, which is my favorite, and then
Yes.
Tetsuya. Like Riche kind of like, I was like, come on girl, like I understand, but come on
Yeah.
girl, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Pull your head out
hey,
of your butt.
but at the same time, it's like I like if I could go back in time and not like give away like some of the things that, you know, adults
Yeah.
like, oh, you gotta grow up or whatever. It would have been
Oh,
nice
yeah.
to have. It would have been nice to have. But this show looks amazing. And before I get
Yes.
into the look, if you know at the very end of the intro, if you see there is a pin, a quill there that looks very different. It's kind of more roundish, has more weight to it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be the pin that oh god, what is his name? Silver Eyes dude.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
Hold
I can't
on.
remember his name off the top of my. He's crafting her a wand, and that's going to be it, which is more close to what she would use in her mom's shop, which was like a stone.
Right.
It was heavier and everything. So I think that's going to really unlock Coco's skills as a witch. Did you find the
I
name?
do. I'm looking through. I'm scrolling through. Trying to find it. I tell you, the only thing, like, while I'm searching for the name here, the only thing I don't, because I know they kind of like if you're looking at the intro, they kind of hype him up a little bit.
Tarta.
Tarta, Tarta no Noah, yeah. Um, which Kent Williams is also the voice, like the father or the grandfather. He's
Yep.
also the voice, like he's in a lot of things. Like he was Mr. Compress in My Hero, so he's
Blue
in a
Ogre.
lot of things. Yeah,
Blue
exactly.
Yeah.
So,
But he's doing an like an Irish Scottish accent in this one.
yeah.
You will tell no one.
So, yeah, or
Which-
else.
The guy that plays Keyfree, like he's American, but
Yeah.
he does such a good like British accent and everything.
Yes.
And like the first time I saw him on TikTok, I was like, that's not Keyfree. And then like he's talking about, I was like, okay, I would have never thought, but dude, go off. Like he does such a good
Yeah.
job.
But Zach, you said his name wrong. That is not Keyfree. That is English Gojo.
Yeah, English Gojo. English Kakashi.
Yeah. But it is done. The show looks amazing. Like, again, and the one thing that did disappoint me, because it seemed like they hyped him up more than they only had one appearance, was the Knights Morales. Like, again, they came in. They told now. To be fair, when they came in, they told what their duty is supposed to be, is to protect the secret of magic. And, if you do some forbidden magic, it's like, all right, well, you're done being a witch. And it's like, you're going to erase all your memories and you're going to live your life as a normal person. But I feel like we should have gotten a little bit more. And again, maybe down the road in later arcs that we will get more Knights Morales. But, they kind of propped him up as like this prominent guard. And you would think that they'd show up a little bit more, especially when the brim caps are running amok, about everywhere. But yet we only saw him in that one instance. So hopefully we get more, because I feel like there's more story to tell behind them and like their abilities and whatnot. So I digress. That was my one biggest gripe with the show.
I think because like it wasn't like the brim caps know how to hide compared to Coco,
One is
who's
literally
inexperienced. Yeah. Well, it's like Coco's inexperienced. She's uses that vial, which I won't go into details and all of that. But it was like, I feel like they were waiting. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, there it is. And then poof, they were there.
Yep.
But I really like, I think the way they have like drawn out and built this world for us to see, because we're kind of experiencing the world for the first time with Coco. And like when she got sick, it was like, oh, well, we used to be able to do magic like on people's bodies, but because it was this, that, and the other, like when they made the new rules or whatever, like people fought against it, but they were eventually, their memories were erased and everything.
Yep.
It's like the only ones that have that kind of thought process and all of that is the brim caps. And it's
Yep.
like when you get to that stringent point of like either politics or religion or whatever kind of thought process, you throw the baby out with the bathwater. And
Yep.
it's like the amount of stuff that could be like Tarta and his like silver eyes, if they were able to actually help people with magic that way, it would be so. And I feel like Tarta is going to, with the brim caps. Yep. Like
Yep. You and
he's
I are the
gonna.
same way. Like I
Yeah.
feel like that will play out down the road where,
Yep.
because he discovered where, like, how he could become, like, in the episode where Coco's sick and whatever, and Kiefer's called away to an emergency, and so he stays to take care of her, and he's learning, like, of course none of the medicine is labeled like how his grandfather did for him at their house, so he has to learn on the fly which one is which, and he comes up with a brilliant solution. But they're like, well, what if you didn't have to do that? Like, I feel like they will make him an offer he can't refuse to turn him
Yeah.
on their side. So, or at
Yeah.
least get close to Coco. So that I don't know that for sure, but that's a thing I have. I had that same thought process.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, this is going to be a great way to turn a really good character, like way better than like the Sasuke, Orochimaru thing. Like this is like actually like helping a character, but it's going to twist that character so much because like you look at the brim caps. One, the brim caps look freaking sick, dude. They look freaking sick when they show like all of them. Like in that one, like pic, I was just like, dang, they look so cool compared to these dunce cap dudes. Like they look so stupid. But like, I'm like, look at that dude over there. It's like a freaking cowboy. Yeah, whatever. But I love that. Like, I don't know if you noticed it, you probably did, but it's like the longer the tassel, the more power you have. And Kiefer's is so freaking long, and everybody else's is like this. It's like, okay. Kiefer he's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, he is. He is that dude. So, and the character animations are cool because the character animations, and they won, I think, best character design was Gachiakata. Like the character designs, like the animated, like the Raider designs were really cool. I feel like Bundus, like all that, like, and they just carried that over into Witch Hat. The brim caps are just so cool. So they're making these enemies look cool, man. So I mean, if you look cool and you have some good premise, some good story as to why you're doing the way you're doing, it's like I might join you. You know what I mean?
Like I don't know if the last brim cap was the cowboy hat looking one that I was thinking of, but I hope that the cowboy hat one is voiced by Bundus's voice actor, because I feel like he does such a good job, man. I'm just like, let's go, because like we got to him in the show, and I was like, yes, Bundus. Like I was like, yeah. But like the intro, the outro, like is just done so well. Like the art style and the way they were able to capture the manga into this, and the complexity of the robes and the music, everything that is in this show is freaking amazing. And we're glazing pretty hard here, but I absolutely love Witch Hat Atelier. Anything else you want to say about that before we jump into the next ones? Because we still got Kage Summon to do.
I know. So yeah, no, I don't have it. I just also another thing I thought about was like we need more Orugio too, which is also voiced by Reagan Murdoch. Just saying. So like he was the voice of Orugio, but we need more Orugio because a few episodes will not cut it. Anyway, let's carry on.
I am the watchful eye. Demons of the Shadow Realm. We haven't finished the season yet, on the dub at least.
And so, and it was that one that was my pet peeve because they said it was simuldub, and then it's like they did the first month, and then they went no. At least Gachiakata get halfway through the season before they went 2-week delay. This one was like, we'll give you a month, and then maybe the assets, they had an issue with that, and they had to be forced to do it too. Who knows? I digress. That was my pet peeve. But we're almost halfway through because it's a 24 episode show, so it's going to continue on through the summer lineup. So I can't wait. And my God, like I know, like I'm kind of, it's almost fate, Zach, because you and Amy are watching Brotherhood. Because Full Metal Alchemist DNA is all strewn throughout this show because it's by the same people who did Full Metal Alchemist. Because I mean, you've got the siblings, and even though they're twins, one, the more level headed, serious one is always the shorter one. No, they're not picking about height, but I digress. And the other one's more of like bubbly, like upbeat, like everything is cool. It's like my brother, like that. That takes a
Yeah.
little bit of a weird turn, but you know. And let me tell you, that first episode was insane. Like they come in, like you don't know what's going on. All of a sudden, you thinking there's a nice countryside, and they're talking about, oh, the dragons are flying off. I'm like, that's a weird looking dragon. And why
Yeah.
is it leaving a smoke trail? And then all
Yeah.
of a sudden, you see military people coming in and people losing body parts, and I'm like, what is happening? And
Chomp.
then chomp chomp. She, like, especially like the more episodes you see her in, she is going to be definitely the greed character in this show for sure, just because of how smug, how arrogant she is.
But
So
I loved like her design is pretty much like Edward, like
yes,
the outfit and everything. Like, of
yeah,
course, Yuru does look way more like Edward and everything. But dude, the short chick Gabby gets aggravated when they call her short. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I
dude, like this show, and like we're watching Damon's and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
yeah,
So like Amy's getting kind of like both of them at the same time and everything. And the storytelling DNA that you get within Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and Damon's, like it's so
yeah,
strong. And
yep.
the way like the clan systems and all of that, like on the mountain, down the mountain, all of
Yeah.
that, and then the Damons, it's such a cool world.
And like how they come in a pair, because I just thought, Wright is voiced also by Colin Clinkenbeard, Yaoyorozu, so that's a good casting. And like they always come in pairs, so it's like, it's like, oh, where's the second one at? You know what I mean? And like it's such a cool power concept. And like you said, the clan, like the Kagemoris, like I feel like, and like even like the separate factions you have, because like the latest arc that they're on right now, when they went to Dara's house, and Dara, I'm just saying, I don't really see it, but people are calling him the Maze Hughes of the show, and I'm just like, he better not be Maze Hughes to the full extent. Just saying.
Like Maze is way more over the top and everything.
Oh yeah,
And I'm like, I don't fully see that. I see
yeah.
that more with, I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily see anybody as Maze Hughes in this show, but I guess it's
right.
like the person that you can root for or you like,
Yeah,
that's, I don't know.
yeah. And then they see, I think his name is Gene, the Kagemori, like the first Kagemori they meet, like the one with the glasses with like the fish daemons. They say he's the Mustang. I'm like, I don't know if I see Mustang at all in him. Like, I don't know if he can go. Like, again, Mustang has that crazy moment, his get back moment in that show, and I'm just like, I don't know if I can see him getting that same level of intensity, but we'll see. We still have a ton of the first episode to watch, or the first season to watch, and this is, you talk about going back to like how it's such a storytelling. They're doing something a little bit different than a normal like shonen manga, because when you look at the arcs and the chapters, like they do like a few up, depending on the number of chapters, they'll do a set amount of episodes, right? And they'll take like a lot of chapters or several chapters and put them into an episode. They are borderline doing almost a chapter per episode. Like, of course, there's some where they don't do bank, one for one, but they don't have a lot of arcs. Like they're got like they are only on like their sixth or seventh arc in the manga, and Damon's already started like the show, and the next one is like 16 chapters long, so that could be where the season ends. But I'm just like, how are they going to do this? Like being 24 episodes, but this is how they're doing it. They're doing it to where they're almost doing a chapter per episode, and I think it works because there are still some episodes which is a little bit slower paced, but again, it's like accordion. You got to have some downtime to get back up to the intense moments and the good storytelling, because again, like those brothers that we were introduced, like they all have their own things going on. Like we find out one of them that tracked him to Dara's house is like, all right, what are you about? Like, are you for the clan, or are you one of these separate factions that they're talking about? You know what I mean? So
Well, and
go ahead.
well, when the older brother, no, the younger brother, the glasses one is like cautious of Ozma and everything, that
Hmm.
it's like, okay, all right, if that, and I'm looking at because it's Austin Tyndall is the name of
Hmm.
the guy that plays
Yeah,
Ozma. He also
yeah.
plays uh
Monoma, yeah.
yeah, Monoma and Fu. So it's like
Oh, that's right.
the range here, because like Monoma is always yelling,
Yeah,
always
he's
yelling.
at a 15.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree with Nate. He does seem very evil, and I'm like, I don't know if I trust him. I
Yeah,
thought this was interesting just looking at the cast and everything. Because I have to have the cast pulled up because I will not remember. I will not remember names.
yeah.
I There was a point where I was like, oh, what's going on with him when he's like on the phone, like the FaceTime
Yeah.
call? I was like, Nani?
Which by the way, that's the guy who voices the glasses, the hefty guy is also the voice of Makoto from Campfire Cooking.
Oh, okay. And
So,
then Abigail Blythe being both the fish.
yeah.
Um, that's Kikaru from Kaiju number 8. Shinamua.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
Uh,
cool.
I follow them on TikTok, so I was like, oh, okay, it's cool to see. But dude, I feel like the dude Ben George, like he's doing such a
Sigmar.
good job
He is.
as
And
Yuru.
Yuru is a beast. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like that whole like parking garage scene where he meets the Kagemori and he's thinking they're going to do an exchange for uh Asa.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's like left and right, hit the lights, and then like because he's a night hunter, and then he's like, wait a minute, where's their stand? He just comes out with an axe and like slices his Achilles. I'm like, bro, this dude can. He is definitely the Itachi. Like he definitely could have joined the Anbu Black Ops at his age for sure.
What it's funny, the dude that plays Jin, which is the, I guess, younger brother, um he also played Burner, which is the one that he's the one that dies early on. And he's
Oh
Principal
yeah,
Nezu. I didn't know he was Principal Nezu.
yeah. Jerry. Oh yeah, Jerry Jewell. Yeah.
Okay. One dude that I do not trust as far as I can freaking throw him in this show
Mm-hmm.
is this old codger right here.
Oh
I do
no,
not
no.
trust him
Like
one
you
bit.
want to talk about like that will end up being the Donzo of the show for sure. Like he's got some skeletons in his closet because he's talking about like when they're taking the people who like raided like the night before the leftovers. He's just like keep them on the payroll, but keep them close. Like we could squeeze them for more information. I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
This dude knows how to roll. This ain't his first rodeo.
they expendable. they
Oh yeah.
expendable. Nate brings up a good point, talking about Asuma, is I think he's behind the parents' disappearance.
So I don't know if he's behind it, but he definitely is involved with it for sure. If nothing else, he knows something. And I
Yeah.
like that whole through line of like what happened to the parents. It's all, again, it kind of is like Full Metal Alchemist, where it's like their whole goal was to bring the mother back, and it did. So now it's like it involves parents again. So there is again, finding out how you get seal and break, like that whole episode too, and that was the area where you find out the truth in Full Metal Alchemist.
Yep.
Like that is definitely the same thing, and I'm just like, ah. And then when you learn out the truth of what happened to the last seal owner, like Asa's already got break, and then which that's a cool power. It's like, oh, you could sever contracts with daemons. I'm like, whoa, okay. So what does seal do? Because in one of the last couple episodes, the long leg and long arm daemons, they talk about how what you kind of hinted at what seal can do because it was used on them, but like the left and right were like, yeah, the last person who tried to do seal it did, or tried to gain the power of seal, did not go well. And I'm like, oh, so it's not guaranteed.
Yeah.
Interesting, but like the choice, like when we see the episode where Asa goes to the other realm and talks to the break daemon and is like, all right, this is your choice. And I'm like, oh, now the last seal user, that's probably what they did, is like, oh, they were left with A or B and they went through door A instead of B. So it's interesting, but it also shows that it's not guaranteed. But the last, I think they said, was like 400 years ago. So that
Yeah.
was a long time ago. So, but it's interesting to see when and how Yuru will get the power of seal.
Yeah. I loved the forgotten house, hidden house, however they said it or whatever. I love
Yeah.
that idea. And the the relationship between Dara and the wife character or whatever,
Yeah.
like just how how all of that, and then bringing Ken in, like having that comedic kind of pump the brakes, let's, you know, let kind of some of the pressure off of
Mhm.
the thing. And it just was done so well in that last
Yep.
episode, because the long arm, long leg, like that was intense, because
Yep.
it was like you see all of these dead bodies that Dara had like brought into this place, and then
Yep.
like you see head blown off, like another one dead, and it's like the intensity that was behind that. It was just like, wow, okay, this is way more serious than the even like the parking garage thing that we got
Oh
into.
yeah,
But
100%. So
Love and Damon's, cannot wait for more. Let's talk about My
yep.
Hero Academia, the special episode that we got more. This is we were getting one more episode with Aerie,
Well,
but
okay. So I like how every like they ended in fall and they were like, hey, in spring we're gonna give you the epilogue to like really wrap up the show, like the final chapter of the manga. And then they're like, oh, we're gonna give you now when more dropped. It's like, all right, in summer in August we're gonna give you this a special episode that was like a side story where it shows Aerie like in the future, like in doing her journey to become a hero. I'm like, so we're gonna get like a full calendar year of My Hero content. Like, what is this? What is happening right now? Then they'll probably announce in August. It's like, oh, by the way, in fall we're gonna drop another My Hero movie. I'm like, all right, whatever, I guess. Um,
but hey,
but
I did enjoy this. This of course
yes,
is bringing us along. Like the last episode of My Hero, we saw like
hmm
them in the future, so we actually get to see like all of them interacting with each other and all of that, and finally getting some things resolved between some stuff and
yes,
everything. And Nate's hitting the nail on the head there.
yeah.
But it was so cool to see everybody. And then Bakugo, oh my god, like him in his car, it's like, yeah, the back seat's
Some
for
things
you.
never change.
Well, and it's like he literally cares for Midoriya, and it's
Oh
like
yeah.
the back seat is for you because you don't have your powers anymore. All you have is your suit.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, again, when you see when they talked about this last episode, I'm like, of the final chapter, I'm like, okay, it's just a wrap up to see, like, all right, I think it was like 7 to 10 years after the events of them graduated, and see how everyone's doing. I'm like, okay, what could they do? Well, Horikoshi, the mangaka of My Hero, says, I have one final lesson to tell you, and you know, it starts off with it's mainly, you know, it involves Deku a little bit too, because even Bakugo of all people is like, you gotta pick somebody. You can't just be there for everybody. You know what I mean? Like you gotta be selfish and get what you want. Take care of yourself. So that was like side story B. You know what I mean? But the main story involved Uraraka and a certain event that happened in the final war. And it like we have one final lesson to tell you, and that is how to deal with grief and guilt. And that whole it was just told so wonderful, and like the whole like input from Asui, from everybody else is just like, look, and the story they told was like, look, you don't have to live with this like all the time. Like you don't feel guilty for wanting to move on. And like, look, you did what you honored your agreement. You set out to fulfill what you wanted to do. Now take what you want. Like be a little selfish for you. And Bakugo kind of reiterates that with on Deku's side, and that's why at the end we get what we get. But like it was done so well, and it was so hinting because you're like, all right, what is this trying to tell us here? Like, why is Uraraka having these dreams, so to speak? And then we get that revelation, and again, it was again so emotional. I didn't cry, but I did tear up a little bit. I'm just like, this is done so beautiful. It's just a last reminder of why, from like especially the back half of the show, the storytelling is just done so well in this series.
Well, and it could have been so yeah,
A
they end up
throwaway,
together. Like it
yeah,
could have been done just matter of fact, but the way that they were able to craft the narrative that
yep.
both of them get to, it's like we've wanted this, we've thought about
Hmm.
this, but now it's
But
finally happening.
we never had the time, or it was never a good time to do this.
Yeah, and it's like that's storytelling. Show me, don't tell me. Show, and like the way it
Yep.
was like, okay, what is going on here? Why is she all this? And then it lands, and it's like, okay, that was really good. I'm glad that we got this episode. It was just it was the baker's dozen
Yeah.
in,
a
in
hundred
the
percent.
in the donuts. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I got an extra one or whatever. And it's just
Yep.
like, yeah, yeah,
And
it's
just a
definitely
little
worth it.
side, just a side note before we get on with our different picks. Um, it was again talking about tearing up. It was great to see them like once they got that alert. Like, of course, it wasn't a major villain; it was just bank robbers essentially. But it's like they all get that alert, and seeing them suit up and just using their powers one more time just to stop the bad guy. And again, Bakugo coming in wrecking everything. I'm like, of course, it has to be on brand for everything. Like Ida being extra, like it was just such a great thing to see them suit up one final time as at least in the for the viewers as a class.
Yeah, and I feel like like not everybody is a main character, um, but like with Shota, like seeing him, like it's like, oh, I don't like being a superhero is like what I do. It's not who I am. I
Yeah.
thought that was like so healthy compared to where we started with Shota and the whole like just
Shoto.
Shota. Yeah, Shoto. There you go.
Shoto.
um, you see that whole like transformation throughout the entire show. And then that episode is like, okay, yeah, like the reason he's on the top of the charts other than Lemillion is because he is just down to earth. Like people
Yep.
can, and it's like people don't even think about Endeavor at this point.
Nope.
Todoroki is
Well,
standing on his own.
and he was at ground zero when he witnessed what trying to shoot for number one and be like have that obsession do to you, and like what it
Yeah.
costs you in the end. So he's just like, I'm gonna do it my way. If I don't end up being at the top of the charts, cool. If I do, it just solidifies that my way was right.
Yeah. Yeah. Nate says it was so overkill for the robbers. Yeah.
Facts.
But they'll think twice.
Uh,
They'll think twice. Let's jump into these recommendations because I'm ready to get in this Kage summon, my
yeah,
dude.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So mine really quick. The beginning after the end, season two. It was sort of like Anyway I'm Falling in Love with You back in the winter, right? First season didn't really grab me. I know a lot of people were hyped. I know it went through some like the first season went through like some animation issues. Now I watched it after it was all out in dub, so maybe they fixed it because I know halfway through they did fix the animation. Um, but I didn't see an issue. But I wasn't really captivated by the story. I saw like what the potential it could do, but I was like, not really. And then season two kind of upped it a little bit, not tremendously, but I see I'm like, okay, now I'm starting to see what people are talking about, why people, hold this in a good regard. So I'm hoping they build off. They didn't confirm a season three, but I feel like we will get one eventually. So I'm waiting to see how this plays out because they did like some of the character interactions and like the main character's progression was done so much better in season two than in season one. So I am really looking forward to seeing how that goes down the road if we get a season three and beyond. Then another one, Rent a Girlfriend. I binged the first 4 seasons. Absolutely loved it. I know I've talked about it previously. And then I got to season 5 and watched it as it was airing in dub. I know I still have one more episode. And my God, like the whole conflict that because they went on this like resort trip with the family, and this ex-girlfriend who just wants to just cause chaos for whatever reason. And we get a sympathy episode to say why she is the way she is. I'm just like, I don't care. This chick is just wanting to just wreck relationships. Trying to be a sympathetic villain, so to speak, is this one. This genjutsu does not work on me, sir. But the thing I want to get on is like the resort, like when the revelation comes up about Chizuru's job, and like the whole question about, oh, is this relationship real or not, was so intense. Like when you have 2 whole episodes dedicated to this one scene, like when this whole revelation comes out, they are literally having this conversation in the middle of a water park, mind you, but they don't leave that same place for 2+ episodes. Like they find, and it just is like that whole intense like back and forth where like, because the grandma gets involved who was really heavily invested in this relationship. And then like the parents are questioning, well, when did this happen? Like, was it ever real? Like, and they start piecing together some things. I'm just like, the whole like mental gymnastics, and the Chizuru and Kazuya are just sitting there like speechless. Like, how do we get out of this? Like, how do we spin this? Like, what can we say that won't just raise more questions or just make it seem like we're lying to them? And it was just so good, like edge of your seat type of thing. I know people hate on Rent a Girlfriend. It is to an extent. There is some stuff where it is like junk food romance anime, but it has me captivated. You know what I mean? It's something that interests me. So I am definitely invested. I want to see how the season ends because they already confirmed a season 6. Then that time I got reincarnated as a slime, season 4. Again, it's also going for 24 episodes. I didn't mention this when we were talking about the spring lineup, Zach. This season is going to do an unprecedented thing in anime. It's going to do 5 cores. Now, they're going to be all split. It's not going to like the first 2 are back to back, and then the other 3 will come out down the road, probably next year. A core is normally 12 episodes. So if they have 5, this season could go 60 episodes long if they wanted to, which is going to be insane. But again, it is building off of the terrible ending to season 4. Like season 3, I rewatched it. It wasn't as bad, but the whole festival thing, it gave off My Hero season 4 vibes when they had the school festival. And just like, okay, you have this intense matchup, and then you continue it by doing this. But it's laying the foundation for a great setup that has been teased, since the beginning of the show for one character, and then introducing this new villain-esque character in the season. So I'm hoping this season starts and ends the way like season 2 did. Like season 2 was still the best season of Slime in my opinion. I hope season 4, if it ends up being 60 episodes, it better tell some good story. Just saying. So I'm hyped to see how this show continues. I have a good feeling about it though for season 4. And my final one for the spring was, of course, the best for last, Dr. Stone, the final season, part 3. And it was just a nice wrap up. Like, of course, this was the end of the conflict to finding out the source of the petrification, going to the final destination, doing the last few big builds, like still introducing some new characters. It was just great. Like, it was a great wrap up. My only niche was the final villain reveal, if you will. It wasn't a letdown so much as it was like for the reveal. I'm like, oh, you're this. Interesting. But the motivation, like when you find out, it's like, oh, we're not really villains. Like, it was interesting. Like the whole premise behind the thought process because of the petrification was cool. It was just the initial reveal of the final villain was kind of underwhelming, in my opinion. People might have a different opinion, but it was such a great wrap up. And like the final episode, like again, it was just a love letter, like just for like the whole journey along the way. It was just so great. So I'm glad the show ended. I'm glad the show ended the way it did because it was done really well.
I'm glad the show ended.
Yeah.
Put that on your billboard.
I know, right?
Dr. Stone, Derek, I'm glad the show ended. That's the blurb. For me, I've only got two that I'm going to add to this. Is Ascendance of a Bookworm season 4. We're still getting some episodes dubbed and everything, but
Yep.
Amy and I jumped in once we got a good chunk of the way through with dubbed episodes, and man, this show is just so good. The way that like the first 2 seasons are pretty slow, and like it's like it's in the trenches, like figuring out how to make a book.
Yeah.
But it's good. I enjoyed it. It was just one of those kind of shows. But now that we've gotten into the political intrigue, the magic is more of a thing and everything. And this season, seeing where mine and all of our favorite characters are going, I think is great. It definitely picks right up after season 3. So if you have had a break between season 3 and season 4, you might want to do like a little refresher, because it was like, what the crap? It was just like out the gate, we're already in it. And I was like, I don't remember a lot of things. And it's a big shift with the characters that you're interacting with from season 3 to season 4, because there was a big decision at the end of season 3. But the stakes, the comedy that does come in here, I think is really cool. And I'll just say it. She gets a red panda like mount to fly around on. And I'm all about it. I love freaking red pandas. So I'm here for it. And then the other one, and this was a recommendation from Dan, Dirty Dan himself, The Warrior Princess and the Barbarian King. This is more of a low stakes. It feels more like an isekai, to be honest.
Okay.
But it is kind of a romance anime in a fantasy setting or whatever. And the situations that happen is hilarious. Like the Barbarian King, like he's this dude that is like, you see him at the very beginning of the show, and he challenges the warrior, and this fight ensues, and she blacks out, and then she wakes up in this dungeon, and she's like, oh my god, I've been taken hostage for, like, they're going to torture me for information and all of this. And then the whole time, the rest of the show is proving all of these fallacies that she's had about the quote unquote barbarians. And it's actually like showing, because like her homeland is pretty much desolate, can't really grow any crops because they overused and overtaxed the land and just messed everything up. And they're only going to war to take more land from people. And the barbarians, though, they look after the land, they cultivate it, they do it all the right way, but they have good relationships with dwarves and elves and sprites and all of these kind of creatures. And it's like, oh, when you actually care about the people around you, you actually get a leg up and everything. But the comedy between the two main characters is freaking hilarious, from Velor and Sarah. Like the end of the first episode, I'll go ahead and tell y'all, you're going to get a big surprise. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, if you know what I mean. And it's glowing gold. It was just like, what the crap? I was like, oh my God, but it's freaking hilarious at the same time. Great show. I'm enjoying it and getting to see just all the stuff that's in here, because it's taking a lot of classic tropes. There's a lot of dragons in this, a lot of different kinds of dragons. And it's freaking hilarious. So I'm really enjoying that. So Derek, it's time to get into the Kage Summit. We're going to talk about the top 10 anime of 2026 so far. So from winter and spring, we're going to be ranking these. Okay. We've got 2 lists. Derek's got 10. I've got 8, because most of the stuff I've been watching is older stuff or was last year. So Derek, and we also, everybody, we have a tier list here, and we're going to combat our way to a number 1. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'd like to do, Derek, is you do your number 10, you do your number 9, then you do 8, I do 8, 7, 7, 6, all the way up. And then we're going to battle and discuss who is going to sit in each one of these, because there can only be one for each number. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Derek, what is your number 10?
My number 10, and I only put it at number 10 because it is still ongoing. We haven't gotten a finished product yet. It's the only one that's not a finished product, is Daemons of the Shadow Realm. So, and again, we're not going to go deep into these explanations why, because we've discussed these enough throughout the last 6 months. So, Daemons is my number 10. My number 9 is the beginning after the end of season 2. Like I said, really good uptick from season 1. So
hold on, I don't think I got that one. Did I get this one?
I thought you did. I thought I saw it.
Yes, I did. Okay, they're really freaking small, so I'm just like, which one is it?
Fair.
Okay, so beginning after the end. Okay, perfect. Number 8.
So my number 8 is Rent a Girlfriend season 5.
Boom. My number 8 is Jack of All Trades. This was a fun one. Party of None. It was a good one. Number 7, Derek.
My number 7 is Jujutsu Kaisen season 3.
Ooh, that's low, my dude. For me, Ascendance of a Bookworm season 4. Number 6, Derek.
My number 6 is Golden Kamuy, the final season.
Golden Kamuy, the final season. I still need to watch that one. My number 6 is Daemons of the Shadow Realm. Because I'm enjoying it. Both of these on my list, 7 and 6, are both unfinished, but I am enjoying them more than Jack of All Trades. Number 5.
My number 5, surprisingly, but because the season was so good, I feel like, My Hero Academia Vigilantes season 2.
Well, Derek, mine is also My Hero Academia Vigilantes season 2. So number 5 gets to stay. It's really good. I think season 2 might be better than season 1. I don't know. This is my thought.
There is no I don't know. It's for sure better than season 1. Season 1's not bad either, but seeing as what we get in season 2, phenomenal.
All right, number 4, Derek, what do you got?
My number 4 is Frieren season 2.
Oof. Being rough on the old girl. Season 1 of Sentenced to Be a Hero is my number 4.
Okay. My number 3 is Dr. Stone, the final season, part 3.
Nice. I thought I put this on here. Apparently I didn't. Okay. We'll move that down and we'll put Warrior Princess and the Barbarian King is number 8 on my list. So I have 9, y'all. Look at there.
There we go.
So number 2, Derek.
My number 2. Well, what's your number 3?
Oh, I didn't put my number 3, did I? Number 3 for me is JJK season 3.
Okay.
The fights were just boss.
Yeah. The reason I had so low is because the Culling Games explanation, and I feel like while the fights were great, we didn't get enough of it throughout this. And I know part 2 of the Culling Games will be more of that, so that's why I'm also putting it as low as like this was just the premise of what could be. My number 2 though is Sentenced to Be a Hero.
Nice. My number 2 is Frieren season 2. And number 1.
My number 1 is Witch Hat Atelier.
Did I move? Hold on. Where did you have?
Yeah, I think
JJK?
You moved JJK out of. No, wait, no, you're good.
Apparently had 3 of them in here. Okay. My number 1 is also Witch Hat
Witch Hat
Atelier.
Atelier.
So number 1, Witch Hat Atelier. We got that locked in. We got number 5 locked in, unless we want to do some sorting, Derek. So do you want to go top to bottom or bottom to top?
Let's go top to bottom. Let's sort out let's sort it out from the top.
Okay. So you had Sentenced to Be Here at 2. I had It's funny, we literally flip-flopped this bad boy.
We did. It's crazy. It's crazy. So
okay, so what are your thoughts?
So the reason I had Frieren is my top 5. So like I'm not scolding the old girl, but the reason I put it at number 4 was because, again, while we got more Frieren and the Divine Revolta, which also Revolta is voiced by Jonah Scott, who voices Fell in Catfire Cooking, also, by the way. The Divine Revolta fight was good. It's just, again, 10 episodes, you can only tell so much. It was a nice tight story, but I just felt like we could have gotten more. You know what I mean? Where Sentenced to Be a Hero, we got a great first season storytelling, like setting the premise. Again, as we stated before, it started off rough because it felt like there were some things that they just assumed you already knew, but they didn't explain. But they did explain as you went on in the story. And again, that ending sequence at the end of the season, especially the last episode where Revelations just dropped, was fantastic. Whereas I feel like, again, like I know the Golden Land arc that we'll get for season 3 of Frieren will be good. It's just I felt like it didn't give us enough tantalization to make us really hyped for season 3, where Hero was like, it ended with such a cliffhanger that I'm like, oh man, I need season 2 right now. You know what I mean? Like, especially since Frieren, again, I know it's the mangaka's got health issues, and I know they're trying to give them ample time to come back and continue telling the manga, which is why they're giving them the time. But again, Frieren season 2, I'm not saying it wasn't great. Like, it was more Frieren. I couldn't, it did its thing. It continued to, to elevate with the storytelling and just do really great character connections. But I feel like Sentenced to Be a Hero just left on such a high mark. That's why I have it above.
I feel like the reason why I have Sentenced to Be a Hero lower is because of the intro. Like, the first episode, you do get a ton in that first hour and everything, which I loved, but I felt like I was like, what the heck is going on for a lot of it? Which a confused buyer doesn't buy. So it took me a little bit to really want to get into the show. I do think it's really solid. I do think it potentially could edge out Frieren in my mind. I might give you the 2 spot, Derek, here.
Okay.
But just you get into the 39 years after Hero the Hymn dies.
Hymn of the Hero has passed.
Yeah,
that's
it's
fair.
It just feels right the whole time.
Yeah.
So I'll give you number 2, but that means I gotta have it at number 3. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta have it at number 3. All right.
But Dr. Stone, man, like I know you haven't watched it, but the culmination of 2 million years is one of the episodes was titled, but just seeing just the end, always when the ending is done so well from the journey that we went on, I feel like Dr. Stone should be at 3. But again, I could be as long as Dr. Stone is in top 5, I will be okay. I will not throw a hissy fit. But Dr. Stone, I feel like should still, for me, it's at a strong number 3. But because I will be willing to concede the number 3 spot, since we'll put it at number 4.
Okay, so
as long as you keep it at number 4, we're good.
Yeah, so we'll put that at number 4. We'll pull these down off the playing board here. And then we'll bump down JJK down to 5, and we can have that conversation next. I will say, I'm going to go ahead and say, it's definitely not as good as
Vigilante season 2.
Vigilante season 2. I will say that. I agree
Yeah.
100% with that. Number 6, Golden Kamuy, Demons of the Shadow Realm, JJK season 3.
Ooh, now we get into some rough territory because now it's like, who do you kick out? I mean,
What
okay,
darling do you kill?
I know. Man, it's like kiss, Mary, kill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
And I know 2 of these are mine, but this is where we're
I
at.
know. So again, Golden Kamuy, and I know we're getting a movie of Golden Kamuy. So I would, as much as I love like the overall like show that Golden Kamuy is, like it's a great period piece anime from like the Japanese Russo War. Like it, like just the aesthetic is done so well, and Christopher Sabat is in that show. So I was trying to sway your opinion just a little bit, but um, but I will. The one flaw that I wouldn't be able to defend would be that it's not over technically. They did announce after the final episode that, hey, because when you look at the manga, it's like, hey, there's still at least 10 chapters that can be told here. Like, why did, and it's like, oh, we're gonna in the fall we're gonna do a movie that wraps up everything. So it is still not even though it's a final season, it's not the end. So because of that, I would have to concede toward. So we can take that, down. I don't know if we want to put it down. But
I'll put it down.
So now that leaves between Damon's and JJK. And off rip, as much as we talked about Damon's, like how good the bones are that we're seeing in it. It is not finished, so we don't have a complete product yet. So JJK, even though they kind of lied to us and say, "Oh, we're going to do season 3 into 2 different parts," so it's like, "Oh wait, no, we're going to do season 4. The Culling Games is going to be in 2 parts." I'm like, "Okay, whatever." It's done though. Season 3 is done. It's in the books. We don't know what Damon's like. It's good. Like we enjoy it a lot. Like we see what they're trying to tell, but it's not done. You know what I mean? Like we don't know, because now if we do this again at the end of the year, Damon's could beat out JJK depending on how the second half of the show does. But for right now, we can only go off of what we've seen, and I would say JJK needs to be at number 6.
Okay, I like that. I'm gonna move down this one since that's there. Okay, so I'm going to concede some spots here. Okay. I'm going to move down this and this.
Okay.
Number 7, I'm giving the Golden Kamuy, Derek. I'm a generous and benevolent God.
You are.
Okay, so I'm gonna play some devil's advocate over here on my own. Okay. Jack of all trades, we did get a full season. I'm keeping that on the board. Okay. Warrior Princess and the Barbarian King isn't done yet. I'm enjoying it, but it's not done yet. I would rather keep Damon's over Warrior Princess and the Barbarian King. So I'm going to pull that off the board. Okay.
All right.
That's my thought. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this.
And you know what? I'm a listen. I know it's tomato, and I know like I just said, Rent a Girlfriend had those great couple episodes where they just have that one scene where they're just having that tension, like that reveal, like trying to play mental gymnastics over how they're going to get out of the situation. But and it's not fair to compare romance to action. You know what I mean? It's not.
It's hard.
Again, there's only a few seasons. Like season 5 and season 3 are definitely some of my favorites from Rent a Girlfriend, and I know we're only going off of season 5, but the second half of season 5 has not been as great. Like it's had its moments, but the first half was fantastic. The second half, not so much. So I'd be willing to give it up to Damon's at number 8.
Okay. So we're gonna move Rent a Girlfriend down to number 9.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Derek, number 9, we have Rent a Girlfriend and The Beginning After the End. Also, I'm going to remove Damon's from number 10 now. Okay.
And I'll go ahead and make it easy for you. Take bump beginning after the end down to number 10.
Okay.
So now it's between Rent a Girlfriend and Descendants. Now, I have not seen Descendants of a Bookworm.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let you state your case as to why it should be at number 9.
Okay. I'm going to go out on a limb here.
Okay.
I'm going to bump it down to number 10 because what you've said, like, just like being able to sit in a one place and tell 2 episodes between 2 people, that's freaking hard, even if it's live action. Okay.
Yeah.
That's really hard. So the writing has to really, really carry it. And so far, what I've seen of season 4 of Ascendance of the Bookworm, I've enjoyed every second of it. It's definitely an isekai, though. The writing is not going to be its strongest point, and we haven't really got a huge conflict that's been brewing, because season 2 and 3, we had more of a through line conflict. We're starting to see a little bit of a conflict that's been brewing in season 4, but nothing where it's just like, God, I hate that person. So I'm going to bump it down to 10, and I'm going to give Rent a Girlfriend season 5, number 9.
Okay.
Let's switch.
So now we have the 3-way battle.
Okay,
You're gonna knock Jack of all trades out, aren't you?
I want to.
Yeah.
But it's finished. That is my only thing.
True.
It is finished. But
really, you're gonna take Ascendance of the Bookworm out?
I don't know. Maybe, Derek. I might. Like, okay, Jack of all trades. Like, I enjoyed, but it was one of those where it was like, okay, I'm watching this because it's coming out each week and I am enjoying it. It's not like, oh man, I gotta know what Jack does. I gotta know what, well, his name is not Jack. I don't even remember his name at this point.
Right.
But it's like, I gotta get, but it was like the second half that was actually interesting.
Uh-oh.
Like, you there?
Yeah, you there? Because you freezed on me there for a second.
Oh, okay. What I was saying was like the second half was like actually interesting, really built more of the world, where season 4 of Ascendance of a Bookworm, it's like, I've been in this world for a while, but we haven't really like pushed the boundaries. So it's like, I don't know. It's like, is it going to be like the first half of Ascendance is kind of resting on its laurels in a way and then cranks up? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's hard. It's hard because I've got to kill one of my darlings here, Derek. I got to kill one of them.
I know.
Because I'm not going to make you kill yours and then I have to like make a decision between mine, because that's not fair. Even though I only had 9. You still have
to kill one of your darlings.
Even though I only had 9 coming into this. Just saying.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to Jack. The fight between him and the Black Dragon was freaking dope. All right, here we go. Make your case.
So, well, Jack might get it actually, because again, and I know you said this would have been better just to be binge watch. Like, even despite that, like, as much as I enjoyed season 2 of Beginning After the End compared to season 1, from what you've told me, and I haven't seen Jack of all trades yet, the second half really sets off the show, you know, in a good way. And like, it shows why people, you know, should at least give it a shot. Whereas Beginning After the End, like, while yes, they did have better moments, like better character, better fights and whatever, again, it's still, like, compared to the second half of Jack, I feel like it doesn't stand that same test. And I feel like while it is good, and like that's why you should probably pick up into the show, I feel like, and again, Jack of all trades got renewed for season 2, you know, so we'll get more of that, and hopefully it builds off of that. So I feel like I have to give it to Jack of all trades on this one.
Whoa!
Just because of how it ended, you know. Again, it's not always how you start; it's how you end. And if you ended on a high note, you good. And like, the Beginning After the End, you know, set some stuff up for like if they get renewed for a season 3. But it wasn't like, oh, I can't wait. You know, I was like, I have to see season 3. You know what I mean? It wasn't that, okay, now I need season 3 like I need air type of thing. So I will concede jack of all trades to that, or to jack of all trades.
Well, Derek, this is our top 10. Number 1, Witch Hat Atelier.
Yeah.
Number 2, Sentenced to Be a Hero. Number 3, Frieren season 2. Number 4, Dr. Stone season, what was it? Dr. Stone, the final season, part 3. My Hero My Hero Vigilantes season 2. Season number 6. It's a long show, y'all. Number 6, Jujutsu Kaisen season 3.
Man.
Number 7, Golden Kamui final season. Number 8, Daemons of the Shadow Realm. Number 9, Rent a Girlfriend season 5. And number 10, Jack of All Trades. Derek, that is our 2026 anime
list.
Yeah, top 10. I'm proud of us, Derek. We worked together.
So far. I know.
We worked together.
Yes.
We made it happen. Guys, gals.
Could we have fought more? Probably, but we know where the shortcomings happen.
Yeah, and it's like we know when it gets to the end of the year, we'll fight a lot harder for things. Because half of the shows I feel like that were
for sure
on my list was like, it's not fully done yet. So I'll give up the ground here on that. Derek.
And then when you have Apothecary Diary season 3 in the pipeline, it's definitely going to kick something out.
It's going to be ham. So Derek, let's talk about the summer lineup for 2026. I know you got me a list ready to go. It's hot and fresh out the kitchen. Mama rolling that body.
Yeah.
Got every man in here wishing.
Anyway, so to start off, this summer feels like is going to be a good time for some new anime to premiere. Starting off is going to be one that I will be checking out when it premieres on July 4th. The Independence Day, Black Torch. It looks very promising, very like action supernatural, and it will be simuldubbed. And the voice actor of the main character is going to be voiced by AJ Beckles, who, if you recognize that name, is the voice of one Okaroon from Don to Don. So I'm excited to see how he's going to portray the main character in Black Torch. Then we have Bungo Stray Dogs 1 season 2, which is the chibi anime spinoff of Bungo Stray Dogs. Zach, I know you want to say it.
Stray Dogs.
Then we have one that I will also be checking out that I really enjoyed the first season of, is Clevitus season 2. This was part of the trio of new anime when I started watching episodically last summer with Gachiakata and Togananki. I'm glad this show got a season 2. Cannot wait to see how it continues going forward. That is going to air on July 8th. Bungo Stray Dogs 1 is already airing. It airs every Thursday. Well, it started today, so every Thursday you can check that out. Following that, I'm just going to pick out like some of the stuff that's going to be dubbed, so to speak. Hanakimi season 2. I watched season 1 in winter. It was a brand new anime. It's crazy that 6 months later we already got a second season. I'm excited to see how things go. It's not simuldubbed. It will be a 2-week delay. Excuse me. Then we got Hanaori-san Still Wants to Fight in the Next Life. Then we've also got, scrolling down here, another one I'm going to check out, like as far as a new anime goes for this season. And I'm probably going to butcher it, so bear with me, but I think it's pronounced Jadugar, A Witch in Mongolia. That will also air on July 4th. The one that intrigues, that kind of broke the deal, because I was trying to find a third one to watch. The one that did it for me was the studio that did it, Science Saru. And that name sounds familiar because they animate Don to Don. So I'm sure they do other projects as well, but their most recent success is Don to Don. So I'm looking for it. And again, it's another witch anime, so it's going to be another magical adventure time. So I'm looking to see how this show shapes up. Then we have Kaiju Girl Caramelize, which airs on Thursdays. The first episode just dropped today. Then we have one I'm excited for, super excited for. It won't premiere until August 14th, but that is Link Click Season 3. They're like Apothecary Diaries. They're doing a split season. Part 1 will air this year, part 2 will air next year. So the first half will premiere this summer. I can't wait to see what timey-wimey stuff is going to happen in this show. What else? Then we have one for you, Zach, that I know you're going to be excited to see. That's going to air on Sunday. Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation Season 3. So I know Zach is going to anxiously waiting on pins and needles for this one, but I don't know if it'll be simuldubbed. We won't. They usually don't announce that till like the day before the show airs. So we'll find out Saturday if it's going to be simuldubbed. Probably will be a 2-week delay, but nonetheless, when it comes out, Zach will be there to watch it every week.
Dude, I've been so excited for this one. Like, I've been waiting since I finished season 2. I was like, I gotta get it.
Well, you only have a few short days left, brother. So you're almost there. Maybe we'll see. So then following airing next Wednesday, the 8th, will be Saga of Tanya the Evil Season 2. And that I know people have been waiting a long time since Season 1 ended for a sequel, and you finally will get it this week, this upcoming week. Following that, on July 4th, we also have Skeleton Knight in Another World Season 2. Then we have, I know it's not dubbed, or at least it doesn't have a dub, but I know people have been talking about Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You. It's going to air on July 9th, but I know they have some special mini episodes that are now available to watch. Then we have also on Sunday, July 5th, we have The 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You Season 3. What else? Then we have The Exiled Heavy Knight Knows How to Game the System. The first episode just aired on today, so every Thursday it'll air an episode. Then we have, where else is this? Then we have Though I Am an Inept Villainess will air on July 12th. That one almost won out, but I gave it to Jadogar just because, again, Science Saru is going to be producing the show, but I will keep my eye on that one to see how that goes. Then another one, Zach, that I showed you a trailer of a long time ago that is airing this upcoming Wednesday, and that is Tomb Raider King. It's also a South Korean based manhwa or dongwa. It's manhwa. That is very Solo Leveling-esque. And like even the premise is like, where did it go? In a world with power-granting tombs, one betrayed Left 4 Dead raider is given a second chance at them all. What does that sound like? Genu Sung. So, and like you can just tell, like the character design is very similar to Genu, and the whole aesthetic feels very Solo Leveling-esque. So I will be definitely checking that one out. And I'll keep you posted, Zach. I'll tell you if it's definitely worth watching. Okay. And so these international ones, the ones that come from like dongwas and manhwas and like other like non-Japanese ones, have yet to find a bad one. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like most of them have hit. So I'm hoping this one continues that trend.
Apparently, we're getting another Ghost in the Shell. It's coming out on the 7th.
It is. I think that is going to be Amazon. So I am just doing the ones on Crunchyroll, unfortunately. So okay, that is the easiest list that I can. Sorry, but there will be another Ghost in the Shell for sure. And also Bleach 1000-Year Blood War, the final arc, is airing this summer as well. Then we have also on July 8th, Trapped in a Dating Sim, The World of Otome Games is Tough for Mobs, Season 2. Then we have, of course, the second core, even though it's not getting a dub, Yoroi Shinden Samurai Troopers Core 2. I know the first one aired in, I think, winter. So the second core is airing this summer, July 7th to be exact. And then another show that got a fast turnaround for Season 2 that aired in winter. You and I are Polar Opposites Season 2 that will air on Sunday, July 5th. And then, of course, some continuing shows that were from the spring season that are rolling over into summer. Of course, what we talked about, Ascendance of a Bookworm, Adopted Daughter of an Archduke is continuing, Daemons of the Shadow Realm, Digimon Beat Break is continuing, Liar Game is continuing from the spring season, of course, One Piece, ReZero Starting Life in Another World Season 4, the second half of that season will air on August 12th. Rilakuma it started off as a sub, but it's now getting a dub right now. So that time I got reincarnated as a slime. Season 4 is continuing into the summer. The Drops of God is continuing from the spring, along with Welcome to Demon School Irumakun Season 4. So, and of course, there's like Zach alluded to, there are plenty of others that aren't on the Crunchyroll list that you need to go check out, like Bleach, like Ghost in the Shell. So there is something out there for everyone. So I'm excited to see how the summer shapes up.
Dude, that Tomb Raider King looks so much like freaking Solo Leveling. It's just like
Solo Leveling.
Yeah, it's like
y'all
it's like I told you could copy off my paper, but like like dude looks like
change some things.
Yeah, it's like you verbatim. It's like, oh, Big Boss bites my leg off and everything.
Yeah,
I don't think the animation
you copy and paste it exactly.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he loses legs and all of this kind of stuff.
Leveling.
Yeah, it's definitely it's not as crisp and all of that, but I think you will be getting to filling the void at least that we've had of Solo Leveling and everything.
Season 3 win of Solo Leveling.
You know, and apparently we finally got an image for Delicious in Dungeon Season 2, which hopefully we'll get some sort of announcement over the weekend from Anime Summit, because man, oh man, I've been waiting on that. I think that was
one of the things they were going to show of Anime Expo. So
yeah, Anime Expo. I would say Summit. I don't know why.
So
let's jump into ramen toppings. This is our last segment of the night. Thank you all, everybody, for watching and hanging out with us. First, we've got 2. If we're still doing 2, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. What is your favorite anime setting, Derek?
And this one is like, it can be anything from the fantasy realm, like medieval setting. It could be futuristic. It can be modern day, what have you. So I just figured, like, this got me thinking, because, people, it's like, oh, if you got reincarnated, or like if you got an option to go in another world, where would you go? So this got me thinking, what's your favorite setting? And for me, it's a modern setting, like a modern day, like it doesn't even have to be like modern day, like something I recognize, like a country or whatever. Modern day Japan, you know what I mean? Like, it's just because I can relate to that. There are real life locations that I recognize. Like, it just is something that is relatable to me as a viewer, that I can, of course, I love the fantasy. Like, I love Attack on Titan, like the old school like settings and whatnot. I love the Full Metal Alchemist, like the different, like the adventure fantasy settings. I love isekai, like campfire cooking. Like, it's definitely like an older school type setting. Enjoy that world. But for me, anytime that has like Jujutsu Kaisen, like seeing Shibuya Crossing, like, oh, that's a real life place. Or like, name whatever modern day anime, like Tokyo Tower, like real life locations that are in the show. It's like, this adds another level of relatability to me. Because it's like, oh yeah, like this is like, for all intents and purposes, a cartoon, but it's like, oh, it has real life stuff that I can actually go out and see if I wanted to.
Yeah, I feel like more recent anime, like not just like the big ones, but there's a lot more that are like taking place like in Japan, present day kind of stuff. JJK, Demons of the Shadow Realm. Like, it just feels like more and more of those kind of are in that world. For me, it's kind of a tie between like fantasy, type deal, or like space operas, like old school Gundam, Gundam Wing, like having like, like, I know it's like super like heavy conflict and political, all of that, but it's just like this nostalgic feeling of that kind of story and world, and just the way like original Gundam like captured that, I feel like would be really cool to live in. And then like Frieren's world, if you live in the right place, It's like, yeah, they defeated the Demon
Hmm.
King. Like, I'm golden over here. You know what I mean?
Nah, man. Nah, man. Just live in the northern lands. Like nothing. Like monsters won't swarm you the minute you cross the gate at all.
No, no. And there's no way on God's green earth that I would live in a Mistress from Full Metal Alchemist
No.
Brotherhood. No way.
No.
No. Not around here. So it's kind of I feel like fantasy I definitely would lean more to, but I also
Yeah.
like AC. So,
Yeah.
you know, or Megalobox, like that version of Earth,
Yeah.
I think is pretty cool. As long as you've
Yeah.
got money, you're
Yeah.
you're golden. I guess that's the real world too. Let's talk about the anime of the year. We got anime of the year from Crunchyroll and everything, and you kind of put this together, Derek. So kind of spin it
Yeah.
for us.
So, obviously, we talked about the anime of the year contenders, and of course, the awards came out. The winner ended up being My Hero Academia, the final season, and it previous seasons has been nominated, and I know they went into like before the awards were finalized and were like, "This is My Hero's last shot to win it, otherwise it will never win it again." And they were don't know what was nominated the years the other seasons were out there. Whatever seasons were out there, I'm sure not everyone was nominated, but obviously, people had some opinions and whatnot, like they always do. But my question is, what does winning it mean for My Hero Academia's legacy as overall? Now, obviously, it won it. I think it was. I forget if it was before or after the special episode aired, but it was around the time the special episode aired. But what does this mean for its legacy, Zach? And to me, it's I think it just cements the culmination of what the story, like, of course, this was like the final season was the Avengers Endgame moment. You know what I mean? Everyone got together, beat the final boss, or solo the final boss if you're Bakugo, in his fight. But I think it was like and people want to say to not to cross streams and not to go too deep in the long in the tooth here, but people say, "Oh, Endgame's not a good solo movie," and I'm like, "Well, no, duh," because it's a culmination of 11 years of other Marvel movies that led to this event. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get the correlation. Like, two things can be true. It can be, it doesn't have to be a good standalone movie, but it can be a great culmination, like a great, epilogue to the story that you've been leading to for a while. So, My Hero has told, like, yeah, the early seasons were good, not great. Like the first two seasons, like, see, it really kicked off with season 3, but then season 6 was when it really, I think, turned the corner and made it like that serious. Like, people took it like serious, like, oh man, they are dealing with like some real stuff here now. Like, they are dealing with some real consequences, like some real failures, and now they're paying the price for it. And then you see how they get up on the end of it. So I feel like the final season being like the ribbon on the present, you know what I mean, is the just and it winning is the justification. Now, again, there was a bunch of great candidates, like a lot of them, all but the summer Hikaru died. I watched now, but I knew, only one can win, and I wasn't mad at it. You know what I mean? That we
Yeah.
made our case for some other ones, but I was thinking about it, and when I saw that it won, I was shocked. But I'm just like, this is justification that the show what transcended a lot of media, and it showed that, hey, the story it tells, the characters it develops, were more than just a superhero movie.
Yeah, I think it is a nice little, plus on what the plus ultra on what
Yeah.
My Hero is. For me, though, regardless if it would have won, I think My Hero season 8 is one of the best hard won stories that we've gotten in anime in a very long time. And
100%.
to be able to craft that kind of narrative and keep people engaged, keep the characters from getting to this point where they're flanderizing themselves, like they're just caricatures of themselves. I think was just amazingly done. And
Yep.
for them to win Anime of the Year with really good contenders
Yeah.
from last year and everything speaks volumes of, okay, this is how you end a superhero story. This is how
Mm-hmm.
you get to that point. Every win, every loss, everything was earned. You know, even the villains, it's like they still were the bad guys. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like even
Yep.
Shigaraki, when he got beat, he still was a bad guy, but
Yep.
he accepted it and wished well. You know,
Yep.
it's just done so freaking good. And
He basically said, "I went out my way," and
yeah,
that's what I'm proud of.
yeah, and I feel like a lot of villains never get that point. You know, they never get to
No.
that. It's like, you know, they're always mad or whatever, which I feel like is
Yeah.
most villains. But I feel like Shigaraki went through so much stuff
Yep.
that
Even
that
fighting with his leader, essentially.
yeah, yeah, his master and everything. And I felt like that was even earned, that the way it's like I went on my own. And you know, with Spinner, like the conversation between him and Deku, all of those
Yep.
things, it was like, man, the emotions are hitting all the way through this thing. And
Mhm.
for it to win the anime awards, I think is great. And I feel like, you know, as I think on awards, it's like, yeah, oh yeah, that one game of the year, or that one anime of the year, or that one picture of the year, whatever it is. It's like,
Mhm.
just because you don't win doesn't mean that your show, movie,
No.
game, whatever it is, isn't
No.
good. I do think that this is well earned, and
Mhm.
rightfully so. It's like, okay, we can put My Hero proper to rest. Yes, we got more.
Yeah.
We're getting the Aries story,
Vigilantes. Yeah.
but it's like, okay, I feel like we put the pin in it,
Mhm.
and we're good to go.
To end it on this for me, right? Is like you talking about the beginning and the end, right? The beginning, the first. I'm going to relate it to the opening, some theme songs. The first opening was called "The Day." You know, like but opening opening for the first season. The ending, it was the lyrics for the opening, for the final season. It said toward the end is "The day has come," and My Hero's day has come by winning Anime of the Year.
I love it. Well, there you have it,
Because it's
everybody.
by the same band too.
By the same band. By the same band. Well, there you have it, everybody. That is this episode of Eat, Sleep, Anime. Derek, thank you for coming here, being a part of this. Always enjoy getting to chat with you
Mhm.
on all the anime goodness. If you're looking for great suggestions, just go rewatch the episode. We got it. It's all
Yeah.
here, y'all. We got so much to watch, so much goodness. Just pull up a table and open your gullet. You're gonna get filled up with so much good anime. We'll be back
And
next
then you're gonna
week,
sleep
y'all.
well.
And then you'll sleep well. Exactly. And then you just repeat it again. We'll be back next week with more awesome content. We love you. This has been Zach.
And Derek.
Y'all have a blessed week. Bye-bye.